Chapter 2121. The young man was grabbed by Chen Shang very painfully, his face was flushed red, and he was also in shock, but he shouted instead, "You, a foreigner, don't know our rules. Attacking in front of the street is courting death." Quote. "Big brother, let him go." Ah Dong anxiously pulled on Chen Zhang's clothes. "He is Murong Tian's man, it would be bad if Murong Tian did not find him." When Chen Shang let go of the youth, he had even strongly pushed him, causing him to fall on his butt. The youth instantly cried, his face full of hatred, and even clamored for someone to take care of Chen Shang. Chen Shang hated people who relied on others the most. "Ah Dong, take me to this pill shop to take a look," Chen Shang said, then handed over a storage bag, with 3,000 Shen Yuan stone inside. When Ah Dong saw it, he was so shocked that he couldn't move anymore. He never thought that Chen Shang would really give him this many Shen Yuan stone. "This, brother, didn't you overdo it? I only accept 10 Shen Yuan stone for 1 day. Ah Dong said. "How many days did you give them to me?" 3 days. Chen Shang smiled at him, then patted his head. "Hurry up and go, I'll give as much as I can previously, you better not refuse me. This is equivalent to forcing me to lie, I will be angry." Ah Dong was extremely moved. When he saw Yue who stuck her head out from Chen Zhang's backpack, he couldn't help but reach out to touch her. "Thank you big brother, you are really a good person. This little kitten is so cute and beautiful, I have never seen such a pretty little kitten." Yue was extremely happy to be praised. She mewed a few times, then returned to her backpack. Ah Dong brought Chen Shang and headed towards the medicine store. He knew that Chen Shang was definitely very powerful and of high status, but he never thought that this kind of person would actually be so approachable, unlike those famous aristocrats he had encountered. "Ah Dong, what's the situation in the Divine Cauldron Imperial City?" Chen Shang asked. He had originally only been asking casually, and didn't really expect this kind of youth to tell him anything useful. However, Ah Dong's following words caused him to be slightly shocked. "Not bad. The dozen or so first-tier divine kings in the Divine Cauldron Nation have all made a preliminary agreement. They are going to find the smallest way to determine the ownership of the throne. At that time, there will be no bloody purges, and no cruel battle for the throne will erupt before the bloody purges." Ah Dong said. "Is that true?" Chen Shang asked. If that was really the case, then after the decision to become the emperor of the Divine Cauldron Nation was made, the power that the Divine Cauldron Nation retained would be the strongest. "It's true, this is something released by the General Director of Imperial Nine Palace, it must be true." Ah Dong said. "Don't underestimate me, I'm very well informed." Ah Dong looked at Chen Zhang's bag and asked softly, "Big brother, that kitten is very special, and very powerful. I can feel it, but to be honest, I have a special ability that allows me to communicate with all kinds of small animals, so I can get the latest news from these small animals. Because Big Brother is a good person, that's why I told you." Quote. Chen Shang suddenly felt that his 3,000 Shen Yuan stones were not for nothing. Ah Dong's abilities were indeed very strong, because when he was walking on the road, he already saw many little birds and monkeys scattered all over the place. These small animals were not expelled, and that whatever Imperial Nine Palace must have some of these little animals. "What kind of place is the Imperial Nine Palace?" Chen Shang asked. "It's precisely the Imperial Palace. There's a total of 9 great palaces, and the Imperial Nine Palace's general director is a third-rank divine king. The words he says are definitely true." Ah Dong said, "And all the first-tier divine kings who had the power to fight for the throne are within the Imperial Nine Palace. Originally, there were 15, but for some reason, more than half of them retreated." Chen Shang nodded. "Did those retreating divine kings secretly support the other divine kings?" Ah Dong shook his head. "No, the reason they left was to prevent their own people from getting settled. When they withdrew, they all said that they would be loyal to the new Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord." Suddenly, Chen Shang felt that this Divine Cauldron Nation was different from the others. The other divine nations had started to fighting to the death with each other, but this Divine Cauldron Nation was able to sit down and talk about who should hold the throne. He felt that this might be related to the influence of the Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord. The Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord had many secrets, and it was still a mystery whether or not he had told everyone the secrets of the Heavenly Divine Lord. "Amongst these 7 first-tier god kings, are there any goddess kings?" Chen Shang asked. "Yes, this goddess king is amazing. Big brother, you must have heard of her, right? Her name has shocked the entire Nine Gods nation, and after so many years, this time, many people think that she might very well become a female divine lord. Ah Dong said. I came out of the mountains. I've never heard of it. Chen Shang smiled awkwardly. Can you tell me how powerful this goddess king is? Her name is Xiao Yulan. She has a very powerful heavenly jade divine cauldron, so her divine king title is also called Jade Cauldron Divine King. Although she has a very powerful divine cauldron, her divine cauldron isn't for refining nor refining pills, it's for killing people. Ah Dong said. What she did shock the most was during the competition between divine nations and divine nations as princes and daughters. Because she was taken advantage of by the other party, she became so angry that she directly blasted the other party to death. The person who was killed was a first-tier celestial king, and one that was extremely famous. He was a heavyweight of a major power. Although the divine lordess of the two great divine nations knew about this matter, they would not interfere in matters concerning the younger generation. After that, Xiao Yulan had a conflict with the divine king's power and he destroyed all of them by himself. Yes, that divine nations is called Divine Nations Juyang. Quote. How powerful. This meant that she had a great advantage while fighting for the position of emperor, but why did she need to capture Shui Shenxian and the others to repair that damaged cauldron? Chen Shang thought about it carefully and he couldn't help but be shocked. He felt that there was only one possibility, and that was that Xiao Yulan wanted to borrow the cauldron left by the Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord to fight against the other Divine Nations S. The other Divine Nations S were currently in a state of chaos. Even if a new Divine Lord was created, one of them would be severely injured, and the one who was more difficult to deal with would be the other party's great national master. However, if she was able to repair that cauldron and increase Xiao Yulan's power, it was not impossible for her to eliminate the other Divine Nations S. What a scary woman. Chen Shang felt that he could guess correctly. Chapter 2122. Ah Dong brought Chen Shang to a pill shop that had a smaller shop. The decorations of the shop were very normal, but very lively. Chen Shang went in to take a look, and found out the reason why the shop was bustling, because the pills that were sold here were all of a lower quality and of a lower quality, but the price was very cheap, and were welcomed by some of the poorer people. Chen Shang judged from the pills being sold here that divine pills were relatively expensive even in the Nine Gods nation, especially those with good quality. As for the high-quality divine pills, even if the shop didn't have them, he couldn't refer to them. Ah Dong, is there any way to enter the Imperial Nine Palace? I want to meet that Xiao Yulan. After Chen Shang walked out of the shop, he said to Ah Dong in a low voice. Ah Dong was slightly shocked as he shook his head. It's very difficult to find a divine king like him would only show up once or twice. Many powerful supreme gods would find it hard to even meet this sort of god king, much less us. Unless a divine king level expert introduces her, it is impossible to see her. Quote. As Ah Dong was speaking, he saw a few youths bringing a large group of people as they aggressively walked forward. These youths were the ones that were bullying Ah Dong earlier, and one of them had even been forcefully grabbed by Chen Shang by the arm. It's Murong Tian, Ah Dong said as he pulled Chen Shang along. Big brother, let's quickly run. Murong Tian is not someone to be trifled with. With his 9 divine deity, all he is missing is a supreme god pellet to condense the 10th divine deity and step into the realm of the supreme god. We didn't do anything shameful, why do we have to run? They are bullying people, yet they are still looking for a backer. This is completely unreasonable, so there is no need for us to be afraid of them. Chen Shang looked at Murong Tian. This Murong Tian was a youth, he had a white and delicate pointy face, the clothes he was wearing all looked to be very good materials, it was the more expensive type, I could tell that he was relatively rich. That's him. The youth whom Chen Shang had caught pointed at Chen Shang from afar and loudly shouted, Boss Murong, this guy is extremely arrogant and does not place you in his eyes at all. Chen Shang wore a very simple set of black clothes. His skin was a little black, and he looked tall and wide. Even though his face was extremely handsome, in Murong Tian's eyes, he was far less handsome than himself. Ah Dong, I heard that you broke the rules again, so your asking price is lower than ours. Is my skin itchy? Come over here and let me teach you a lesson, so that you can remember better. Murong Tian walked over quickly and said fiercely to Ah Dong. Ah Dong clenched his teeth, and was about to walk over, but Chen Shang suddenly stopped him on his shoulder, and after being pressed down, he was unable to move. He wanted to walk over, but was unable to do so. Big brother, let me a. Ah Dong, I remember you have a grandmother who is about to enter the coffin. A youth said with a sneer, do you want her to die faster? Chen Shang frowned, anger rising. These people actually threatened Ah Dong. Ah Dong was weak to begin with, and he could not snatch away other youths. In addition, if he wanted to earn Shen Yuan Stone S, he would have to be a lot lower than others. But Murong Tian did not allow his price to be lower than these youths. Big brother A, my grandmother is my only family, so just let me go, and I will return the Shen Yuan Stone to you. Ah Dong said as he clenched his teeth. He knew that Chen Shang was a good person, but he didn't want Chen Shang to offend Murong Tian for him. After all, Chen Shang had just arrived at this unfamiliar place, provoking the evil bullies here would only harm him for the future. Chen Shang still pressed him down, and did not let him walk over. She coldly swept a few of the youths with her gaze, and then looked at Murong Tian. How did Ah Dong provoke you guys? Why did you bully him like that? If you are human, you should help him, not bully him like this. Quote, when Ah Dong works in my territory, if he broke the rules, he would be punished. It's none of your business. Although Murong Tian saw the ice-cold expression on his face, he wasn't afraid at all. This was because he felt that he had some face here, and furthermore, he had brought a few people with him. Get Ah Dong to come over and beat us up, or you will be beaten to a pulp. A young man shouted. It was obvious that they often bullied people and were already used to being domineering. Chen Shang coldly snorted and used the power of space. He teleported the speaking youth right in front of him and then sent him flying with a slap to the face. Chen Zhang's body struck the other youths and knocked them all down. I never talk nonsense when I want to hit people, especially people like you who want to hit me. Chen Zhang's voice carried a tone filled with anger. The teenager who was slapped by him did not faint, but his entire face was ruined. He covered his face and screamed in pain. You hit my people, you're courting death. Murong Tian felt that his dignity had been tamed, and he actually dared to hit his subordinates in front of him. Just a moment ago, they saw that Chen Shang had revealed a move and felt that Chen Zhang's skills were not bad, and the people who had been around often also had a better understanding of Murong Tian. They were very curious, who exactly was so reckless, and dared to provoke Murong Tian. Just as Murong Tian took a step forward, his vision suddenly darkened, and he appeared in front of Chen Shang. He was very clear that Chen Shang was using spatial energy, but he did not expect that he would actually be so easily controlled by someone else. It could be said that the other party had quite the strength, and he originally thought that the youth was too weak, so he was taken over by Chen Shang, but he did not expect him to be like this. Murong Tian also possessed quite a good consciousness. He discovered that when he was in front of Chen Shang, he had immediately activated the powerful mysterious power in his body. Just as he was about to strike out with his palm, he discovered that his body was surrounded by a few water dragons and could not move. You like to bully people, don't you? Today, I will bully you. When Chen Shang was speaking, he had already slapped him over 10 times. The pa sounds were clearly heard by everyone on the street, and every slap was enough for blood to fly out of Murong Tian's mouth. Ah Dong was completely dumbstruck. He did not think that Chen Shang would actually make a move, and a very heavy one at that. He had already reached the point where there was no room for mediation. After Murong Tian had slapped him more than 10 times, although his heart was filled with rage, he could not retaliate. Get the hell out of my way. Chen Shang fiercely stomped his foot on Murong Tian's abdomen, and leapt towards the group of people brought along. When those people caught Murong Tian, they all felt a strong burst of force, and almost fell to the ground. Ah Dong, quickly bring me to see your grandmother. Chen Shang said to Ah Dong, to prevent them from taking revenge on Ah Dong. Chapter 2123. Ah Dong, who was in a daze, reacted, hurriedly nodded, and then started to run. Ah Dong did not have any residences in the Divine Tripod City, so he built a small hut in a forest near the city. When Chen Shang followed him to the small cabin, he saw an old granny lying on the bed. Grandmother, I've stirred up trouble. I need to leave this place as soon as possible. Ah Dong said to his grandmother with a face full of helplessness and guilt. This elder opened her eyes, and her eyes were incredibly bright. Although her hair was white, the skin on her face was as tender as jade. It was obvious that she was an elder with a certain cultivation base, but for some reason, she was bedridden. Did Ah Dong damage anything you do? How much do I have to lose? The old granny's voice was very weak, as if she was using all the strength in her body to speak. She's poisoned. Yuaa stuck her head out from her backpack and said softly. When Ah Dong saw Yuaa speak, he was shocked. Little cat spoke. Chen Shang smiled at him slightly. She knows how to speak to begin with. Heal your grandmother first. This isn't a serious illness, it's just that she was infected with a powerful poison. Quote. Chen Shang took out a blood-red pill. This was an antidote pill refined with his blood, it could cure many different poisons, he didn't know whether it was effective or not. Let your grandmother eat it. Chen Shang passed the antidote pill to Dong. When Dong passed it to the old man's mouth, she did not open her mouth and said weakly, Dong, who is this person? Could it be to harm me? Quote. No, he saved me. Otherwise, I would have been beaten to a pulp by Murong Tian and the others. Dong said, he was certain that Chen Shang was a good person and would never harm him. Grandma, believe me, just eat this. The old granny looked at Chen Shang with her pair of eyes that were filled with doubt and brightness. Chen Shang smiled at her slightly, Senior, just eat it. All these years that Dong had been bullied around, if your poison was cured, he wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. Quote. Chen Shang was sure that this old granny had extraordinary strength. When the old granny saw the frail Dong, her eyes filled with tears. How could she not know that Dong had been bullied? She was just powerless as she opened her mouth and swallowed Chen Zhang's antidote. Not long after, she regained her spirit and her face had regained its color. Moreover, there was black smoke coming out from her body. The antidote pill had already taken effect and was rapidly detoxifying. Thank you, my poison has finally been dispelled. After more than 10 years, I had thought that I would die just like that. The old granny sat up, could use her own energy to cooperate with the detoxification. What did you do? The grandmother asked. Beat Murong Tian up. I was worried that he would send people to take revenge on you, so I asked Dong to bring me here. Chen Shang said. If you're well, you shouldn't be afraid of Murong Tian, right? Of course not. The old granny looked at Chen Shang. Who the hell are you? I have never seen that detoxification pill before, and it can even dispel the strange poison in my body. Quote. I'm from somewhere else, and you don't know the name. Chen Shang smiled blandly. I am actually quite curious about Senior's identity. Senior's strength is definitely not weak, if you were to be poisoned, you wouldn't have persisted for so long. Chen Shang patted Dong's head and laughed. In the future, Dong will not have to suffer, it's still not too late for him to start cultivating. I am sorry, Dong. The old granny let out a long sigh as she looked at Dong lovingly. At this time, Dong's face was full of tears. This old granny had recovered very quickly and was now able to stand up. She took out a few godly pills to eat and was able to restore the vitality she had expended over the past 10 years. Thank you so much, you saved my, Yin Ting's life. After Yin Ting recovered, she immediately thanked and bowed to Chen Shang. Although she was an old lady, her actions were extremely elegant, and it was obvious that she was an extremely beautiful woman when she was young. There's no need to be polite, it's just a small matter. Chen Shang laughed. Grandmother, Big Brother wants to see the Jade Cauldron Divine King. Do you have a way? Dong could feel that Chen Shang was heading towards the Jade Cauldron Divine King. He was very sensitive in this regard, although Chen Shang seemed to be speaking casually. Just as Yin Ting wanted to answer, he suddenly frowned and said coldly, someone is approaching, so it should be Murong Tian's father. It's time to settle the score with them. Chen Shang looked through the window and saw Murong Tian, as well as a middle-aged man who looked very similar to him. There were a lot of people coming, some were even a few dozen. Dong, I know you're inside, there's also that bastard who injured me, hurry up and come out, I can spare your lives. Murong Tian roared. When he finished roaring, the door opened, but the ones who came out were not Dong and Chen Shang, but the white-robed Yin Ting. Seeing Yin Ting flying out, the face of the middle-aged man beside Murong Tian immediately changed. He seemed to know Yin Ting's strength and also know about the matter of Yin Ting being poisoned. Although Yin Ting was old, he was extremely agile. After flying, he arrived beside Murong Tian in the blink of an eye and struck him with her palm. With a thunderous explosion, Murong Tian's body exploded into a burst of light and then disappeared, while the air was filled with the smell of burnt flesh. Murong Tian was actually killed by Yin Ting's palm strike. Chen Shang and Dong were shocked. Yin Ting's strength was stronger than what Chen Shang had imagined. Murong Hua, long time no see. Your son has become quite amazing. He looks like he misses you as well. What a good seedling, Yin Ting sneered. Murong Hua was infuriated. So what if he was a good seedling? He had already been killed. Yue, how did you cure yourself of the poison? Murong Hua took a few steps back, but he suddenly couldn't move. At this moment, the group of people that came with him started to run, but before they got far, they were all charred black by the lightning and fell to the ground dead. My poison was poisoned by you, I really didn't expect it. You're so vicious, aren't you trying to threaten my old man so that you won't kill us? Yin Ting immediately slapped his palm towards Marongwa without waiting for him to reply. Using his powerful lightning divine power, he struck Marongwa dozens of times consecutively, turning him into dust. Chen Shang never thought that this seemingly elegant old man would be so violent and decisive when he attacked. After lying down for more than 10 years, she has become much weaker. Yin Ting looked at the charred corpses around him, let out a soft sigh, and then, gently flew back. Grandmother, you're so awesome. Ah Dong opened his eyes wide, and said with a face full of worship. Kid, you'll be even stronger than me in the future. Yin Ting laughed and led Chen Shang and his sister into the house. After Yin Ting entered the room, he looked at Chen Shang with a serious expression. Why do you want to see Jade Cauldron Divine King? Chapter 2124. Chen Zhang's origins were very mysterious, and Chen Shang could see it. Furthermore, she had a very strong wife, but she didn't return, so Marongwa poisoned her in order to force her and Ah Dong to hand over whatever it was that threatened her. I found out from Ah Dong that she was strong because I wanted to personally witness her elegance. Of course, this is just something I said casually, I can't take it to be true. Chen Shang said with a smile. He had considered this for a while, and before he understood Yin Ting's identity, he could not tell anyone about Shui Shenxian and the others being taken away. He felt that Xiao Yulan wanting to repair that mysterious cauldron should be a secret. If this was known to others, perhaps even Shui Shenxian and the others would be in danger, because they were the only refiner who could repair that cauldron. Grandma, Big Brother came out from deep in the mountains. He's very curious about everything here. Let alone him, even I want to see the true appearance of Jade Cauldron Divine King. Ah Dong laughed. Yin Ting also didn't ask about Chen Zhang's origins, she also felt that Chen Shang was very mysterious, but she could clearly tell that Chen Shang was a good person. This was all a great favor to her. If you really want to see her, I can try, but I can't guarantee that you'll be able to see her. Of course, if you want to talk to her, that's going to be difficult. Yin Ting said. I used to be a female servant by her side, but this has happened a long time ago. I wonder if she still remembers me. Oh, Chen Shang never thought that Yin Ting would actually be a female servant by Xiao Yulan's side. No wonder he was so powerful. Princess really needs someone by her side right now, I can see that. If you are really outstanding, you might be able to stay by her side and work for her. The princess has always been very good to her own people, I can guarantee that. Yin Ting said. She is a first-tier celestial king, and those around her are at least third-rank divine king. Chen Shang replied, I don't have that capability, I'm not even a god now. If you want to be by her side, you have to at least be a king-level expert, not to mention a god. Yin Ting replied, as female servants, we didn't have too high of a requirement for strength back then. Yin Ting said. Yin Ting looked at Chen Shang who was completely confused and immediately knew that Chen Shang was not aware of the difference in strength. She explained. After condensing 10 divine deity, 1 would become a god, 20 would become a god and 30 would become a god. I am now a god with 20 divine deity. Chen Shang was secretly shocked, this Yin Ting was actually an expert with 20 pieces of divine deity, and this was just a maid by his side. This is the jade token the princess gave me back then, she said that if I had any problems in the future, I could come and find her, but I've never used it. After all, I feel that after leaving her side, I shouldn't bother her, not to mention the things that I did provoke, I'm even more unwilling to find her. Yin Ting passed over the jade tablet to Chen Shang. Many years have passed, I don't know if this jade tablet will still be of use to you, but you should give it a try first. If it doesn't work, then take the second method. The second method, Chen Shang took the jade tablet. This Yin Ting had a lot of connections, after all, he had followed Xiao Yulan around for so many years. You can think of a way to find the Imperial 9 Palace's General Director. He's my old lover, so tell me my name. Yin Ting caressed Ah Dong's head. Chen Shang suddenly understood that this Ah Dong could very likely be the grandson of the Imperial 9 Palace's great general manager. I want to bring Ah Dong and leave this place. If fate wills it, we'll meet again in the future. Yin Ting looked at Ah Dong with a complicated expression. When she looked at Chen Shang, she thanked him yet again. After Yin Ting and Ah Dong bid farewell to Chen Shang, she brought Ah Dong and disappeared into the forest. Chen Shang was a little troubled, he did not know what he should do first. After thinking about it, he decided to follow Yin Ting's instructions and contact him with his jade tablet. He sent his divine sense into the jade tablet, and said, I was introduced to you by Senior Yin Ting, I want to follow Jade Cauldron Divine King. After the message was sent out, he strolled around the city by himself. He wasn't sure if he would be able to get a response to that. Although that jade tablet was given to Yin Ting by the Jade Cauldron Divine King, Xiao Yulan, he felt that it was definitely not something that Xiao Yulan would personally return. Chen Shang was currently very weak, especially in front of a strong expert like Xiao Yulan who possessed 80% of his divine deity. If he wanted to save Shui Shenxian and the others, he could only try to get to Xiao Yulan's side first and look for an opportunity. Chen Shang only waited for more than 2 hours before he received a reply. It was a woman who wanted him to head to the Jade Cauldron Pavilion in the Divine Tripod City tomorrow morning. Chen Shang asked around and found out that this Jade Cauldron Pavilion was a shop that specialized in selling divine pills and divine cauldrons. He didn't even say what his specialties were when he told him to go to such a suitable place. He found an inn to stay in and bought some decent-looking clothes. After that, he tidied up his appearance to make himself look a bit more neat and handsome. I haven't seen such a person in a long time. Chen Shang looked at himself in the mirror and laughed. I wonder if you can bring me in when the time comes. If not, then I'll wait for you outside. Yuaa said. Chen Zhang's goal was definitely to enter the Imperial Nine Palace. Shui Shenxian and the others must be in a secret location inside. Definitely, Dong said that there are a lot of small animals inside. Chen Shang patted her head, and laughed. Furthermore, it is not so easy to enter now, I will definitely have to stay outside for a period of time to observe. On the second day, Chen Shang went to the Jade Cauldron Pavilion. This shop named after a jade cauldron must have received a lot of attention from Xiao Yulan. Just by looking at the front, Xiao Yulan could tell that this row of shops occupied the entire street, and were even over 100 floors tall. After Chen Shang came inside, he took out the jade tablet once again and said that he had arrived at the Jade Cauldron Pavilion. The one who came out to greet him was a short woman. She looked somewhat fierce, and her expression was cold, but she was very beautiful. Her tone of voice didn't cause any discomfort, probably because that was how she was born. Was it introduced by Yin Ting? Show me your jade tablet. The tender Xiao Linglong girl said. Chen Shang passed over the jade tablet. The other party checked it and nodded his head, then took the jade tablet and put it away. It seemed that the jade tablet was already invalid. Follow me. The woman turned and brought Chen Shang to a door in the hall. There was a staircase there. When Chen Shang came in, he saw that there were a lot of people here, most of them came to buy divine pellets, but the hall was empty, there was nothing inside. Chapter 2125. Just as Chen Shang had expected, it was impossible for him to see Xiao Yulan even if he took the jade tablet that Yin Ting had given him. In the past, there used to be a group of people responsible for this kind of thing to receive his old subordinates, and Xiao Yulan would usually not ask about it, unless it was something very special. Chen Shang followed the petite girl to a secret room. There was a set of seats and the woman invited Chen Shang to sit. Then, she politely poured him a cup of tea. Don't be so nervous. Her face was ice cold, but the tone and voice she used was very gentle, giving people a strange feeling from now on. After the lady saw Chen Shang take a sip of tea, she asked, "What's your name?" Just as Chen Shang wanted to answer, he found out that his mind was a little dizzy and his mind was in a daze. He had wanted to say a fake name, but in his heart, he strongly requested for him to say his real name, and after he suddenly sensed it, he immediately activated the heavenly alchemy to refine the special power that did not belong to him. Shen Fei. Chen Shang said this very naturally. The woman also believed him and nodded. Chen Shang secretly sighed in his heart. He did not think that the tea that he had just drank would contain such a powerful object that could make him speak the truth. This was also understandable, because the people who were recruited had to be absolutely loyal. After all, they might be able to get close to Xiao Yulan in the future, and had to be strict with him. Chen Shang drank another mouthful of tea. This was to prevent the opponent from becoming suspicious. After he drank it, he would refine the mysterious power, and this way, it would not disturb him. Why do you want to follow Jade Cauldron Divine King? She gazed into Chen Zhang's eyes. This gave Chen Shang a lot of mental pressure, and Chen Shang, after all, was someone who had experienced great trials, so this sort of simple method was not difficult for him. Because I feel that the Jade Cauldron Divine King will become the new Divine Lord. As long as I follow her now, I will definitely soar to greatness in the future. I also heard that she has an unparalleled beauty in the world, so following such a beauty is also not a bad thing. Chen Shang said. What is your relationship with Yin Ting? Why would she hand over such an important jade tablet to you? The woman asked again. She had to know Chen Zhang's origin. The reason Chen Shang said he wanted to follow the Jade Cauldron Divine King was also very reasonable. The woman did not suspect anything. Her grandson is called Adong, and he was bullied by someone called Murong Tian. After I helped Senior Yin Ting cure the poison, Senior Yin Ting killed Murong Tian and his son. She knew that I wanted to become a subordinate of the Jade Cauldron Divine King, so she gave me the original skin for the sake of increasing my strength greatly. Chen Shang was not lying. The girl seemed to know about this too. She nodded and asked, "Where are you from?" "It shouldn't be from the Divine Cauldron Nation, because you don't know anything about Murong Tian." Quote. In just one day, the woman had investigated many things, so she knew about this point. When she attacked Chen Shang, she had even attacked in front of so many people, it was very easy to find out. I came from a mountain range. I grew up inside until my grandfather said that the outside world might become a chaotic world. He let me take this opportunity to go and gain some experience, and then he left the mountain range by himself. Chen Shang definitely wouldn't say that he came from the Nine Heaven world, because Shui Shenxian and the others were people who had just been kidnapped in the Nine Heaven world. The woman thought about it and felt that there was nothing suspicious about it. It was normal for a man who came running out from the mountains to worship the Jade Cauldron Divine King after hearing about her. Who is your grandfather? What's your name? The woman asked again. Shen Tianyuan. Chen Shang randomly made up a name. The woman had never heard of this name, but she would check if there were any hidden experts, so it was not strange for Chen Shang to say that he came out from deep inside the mountains. What are you best at? The woman asked. If you tell me, I'll arrange something for you. Pill refining and killing demon beasts. It's fine to kill people, you're just like a demon beast. Chen Shang said, but at the same time, he raised his cup again, and was about to drink the tea inside, when the lady snatched the cup away. This tea is cold, I've just poured it for you. The lady changed a pot of tea and poured Chen Shang another cup. After Chen Shang finished drinking it, he knew that there was nothing else in the cup of tea. What rank pill will you refine? The woman was a little surprised. If they were hiding deep in the mountains, the resources needed to concoct pills would not be much. The path of alchemy was very difficult, and without the pill formulas, it would be difficult to grow. Zongpin Dan, Chen Shang said, I'm almost able to refine a Shengpin Dan. She thought that Chen Shang was just a brat, she didn't think that he could actually refine Zongpin Dan. This kind of young alchemist was always very popular wherever he went. Even if it was the large groups under the Jade Cauldron Divine King's command, there were still less young alchemists. Is that true? The lady was a little doubtful, because Chen Shang did not drink the tea that was filled with the truth. The one that he drank previously was already dead. Then big sis, do you have any Zongpin Dan's ingredients? I will try to refine a cauldron for you to see. If you fail, I will use the Shen Yuan stone to compensate you with your divine medicines. Chen Shang said confidently. When he was refining the Zongpin Dan, he had even comprehended a spirit strengthening technique. When the other alchemists were refining Zongpin Dan, they would normally need a large amount of holy pellets as support, but Chen Shang did not. This was all because of the spirit strengthening technique that he had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy. All right, the woman took out 5 different colored fruits from a storage bag and asked, do you know these divine fruits? Do you know what kind of divine pill this is? Do you have a pill formula? Quote, 5 elements divine fruits can be used to refine 5 elements Dan, and it is one of the most beloved divine pills for divine cultivators of the 5 elements with 10 divine deity and higher. I don't have the recipe, but can you give it to me? Chen Shang said. Actually, he did not need a pill formula to concoct one, he just wanted to hide this heaven-defying ability. This is a pill formula. The woman passed Chen Shang a jade token. Even if you don't become one of us in the future, this pill formula will still belong to you. After all, it was Yin Ting's jade tablet. This could be considered as help to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took the jade tablet, pretended to read the contents seriously, and asked, Big sister, if I am outstanding in pill refining, will I be able to see Jade Cauldron Divine King? Chapter 2126. If it was in the past, it would definitely not be possible. But right now, there might be a possibility that the Jade Cauldron Divine King needs an outstanding alchemist. If you are able to refine Shangpin Dan, I can tell you with absolute certainty that even if you cannot immediately see the Jade Cauldron Divine King, you can still enter the Imperial Nine Palace, and meeting the Jade Cauldron Divine King is only a matter of time. The woman understood Chen Zhang's feelings very well, because she had also walked over like this back then. She was a woman herself, and she worshipped such a powerful woman like Xiao Yulan. I don't have the Shangpin Dan's pill formulas, if not I could let you see it right now. Chen Shang said. I don't believe it. If you don't have a pill refining method, then you must have never refined a Shangpin Dan before. How could you succeed? Usually, when you are learning to refine higher level divine pellets, you will have to go through a process of failure. This process is very long. The woman said. Wait till I refine this Zongpin Dan. I'll definitely think of a way for you to believe it when the time comes. Just as Chen Shang wanted to take out his pill furnace, he immediately thought that this furnace was refined by Shui Shenxian and the rest, and such a method was easy to see through. When Xiao Yulan finds out, he would not be able to reveal his identity. Before he was certain whether Xiao Yulan had any ill intentions towards Shui Shenxian and the others, he could not reveal his identity. Why haven't you started? The woman asked. I don't have a pill furnace. Chen Zhang's answer made the woman's ice-cold face even colder. Sorry, I sold the pill furnace because I was too poor. Elder sister, you can give me any pill furnace as long as it's not too bad. I just want to borrow it. I don't need yours, Chen Shang said in embarrassment. The woman snorted. Alchemist normally sees a pill furnace as his second life, but you sell your own pill furnace. Are you still an alchemist? Chen Shang grinned. My master said that the real alchemist uses the heaven and earth as its furnace, as long as there is a furnace in your heart. The woman was a little angry. She took out an ordinary pill furnace and wanted to smash it onto Chen Zhang's little face. She really wanted to shout at Chen Shang, without a pill furnace, what the hell are you going to be? After Chen Shang received the pill furnace, he immediately expressed his thanks. If not for the fact that he did not want to scare the girl in front of him, he would have immediately used the magic method furnace. After taking the pill furnace, Chen Shang lit a fire inside the furnace, then took the 5 invisible divine fruits and started to refine pills. Do you even know how to forge pills? What nonsense. You didn't follow the instructions in the pill formula at all, and you didn't prepare the commonly used supplementary sacred pills. When the lady saw that Chen Zhang's steps in refining the Zongpin Dan were messy, she could not help but say it. Sister, what's your name? You should have a lot of power in this Jade Cauldron Pavilion. Chen Shang asked. Xiao Baifeng, I am not working in the Jade Cauldron Pavilion. I am just borrowing this temporarily. Xiao Baifeng looked at the 5 elements Dan's pill formulas, and the steps for Chen Shang to refine the pill did not follow the instructions on the board at all. One 5 elements divine fruit costs 500,000 Shen Yuan stone, these 5 are worth 2,500,000, you even sold the pill furnace, are you worthy? I can't afford it. Chen Shang laughed. Big sister Baifeng, are you a phoenix? Humph. Xiao Baifeng did not expect Chen Shang to answer her in such a way. She felt that it was like a meat bun beating a dog, and thought that these 5 divine fruits had been wasted. She silently berated herself. If Chen Shang had continued to drink that tea, which was spouting truths, Chen Shang would not casually brag about it. I am human. The princess gave me the name. She raised me. Xiao Baifeng said. If you fail, I will not blame you. Just consider it my misfortune, and give this pill furnace to you. Thank you, elder sister Baifeng. Chen Shang giggled and then took out a jade bottle. He controlled the flames with one hand and poured the delicious juice with the other. This was what Huang Jintian gave him back then, and he copied a lot of it later on. I'll give it to you to drink. Chen Shang handed it over. Are you refining pills? Xiao Baifeng could feel the flames inside the pill furnace, but Chen Shang was currently smiling mischievously and even poured wine for her. It did not seem like a pill refining at all. Previously, when she had brought Chen Shang in, Chen Shang had given her a good impression and looked very serious, but now but it blew her up. Of course, I will begin now. Chen Shang immediately closed his eyes. Then, with a stern face, he did not say a word. When refining Zongpin Dan, one would need the spirit blood within the various divine medicines to reach a very uniform level of fusion. Otherwise, if the spirit blood was a little unstable, it would cause an explosion. When the other alchemists refined these divine medicines, they would use some of the supplementary sacred pills to increase the quality of the divine medicines, allowing them to balance out several of the divine medicines. Chen Shang didn't need it either. He used the heavenly alchemy's method to mobilize the power within the divine sense to directly enhance the quality of the spirit blood. At the same time, he also increased the quality of the divine medicine itself. In this way, he wouldn't need the help of such a cumbersome holy elixir. Right now, what he wanted to strengthen was the 5-element spirit blood, which was simply too easy for him. This was because the 6 realms' power contained the energy of the 5 elements the most, so he quickly allowed the 5 spirit blood to reach a balanced level. At the moment, only an hour had passed. Seeing Chen Shang becoming serious, Xiao Baifeng was not as angry as before. She even picked up the juice Chen Shang poured for her to drink, and after taking a sip, she felt that it tasted good, and finished it all without realizing it. 2 hours later, Chen Shang had already begun to condense the pellet. He was just casually refining, to be able to condense 4 pellets. If he was serious, he himself would not know how many pills he could condense, but it was definitely more than what he could condense now. Elder sister Baifeng, I heard that those around Jade Cauldron Divine King are at least 20 years old. How about you? Chen Shang was very curious. He knew that Xiao Baifeng was strong, but he was unable to see her strength accurately. I am a 30 divine deity great saint. Xiao Baifeng's face darkened. Continue to refine your pill. So powerful. If I pass your test, will I become your subordinate? This is good too, I'm not afraid of being bullied. Chen Shang laughed. That may not be so. There are many divine monarchs around the princess who possess 40 to 50 divine deities, but I was raised by the princess, so I was taken care of by her. Xiao Baifeng glared at Chen Shang. Even if you become a subordinate, if you cause trouble, I won't help you take care of it. Hurry up and refine your pills. Just as Xiao Baifeng finished speaking, Chen Shang took the lid off the pill furnace. Is it time to add an auxiliary holy elixir? But this is not the time. Xiao Baifeng was curious. No, I'm done. Chen Shang took out 5 colored pills from the furnace and threw them to her, smiling as he asked, what's the quality? If you sell it, how much can you sell it for? Quote. When Xiao Baifeng saw the 4 colored pills fly over, she reached out her hands in disbelief and scanned them. When she held all of them in her hands, she could clearly feel the warmth of the pill being transferred into her hands. Chapter 2127, Chen Shang clapped his hands and laughed. How is the quality? Xiao Baifeng opened her palm and looked at the 4 5 elements dance. Her face was filled with disbelief, and she was shocked speechless, and she was currently thinking about what tricks Chen Shang could do, but she had been staring at Chen Shang the entire time, and the pill furnace was also given by her. Furthermore, these 4 5 elements Dan had also just come out, so she could be sure of this. However, an alchemist like Chen Shang who could even sell her pill furnaces, who was sloppy about concocting pills and did not follow the pill formulas when concocting pills, had now refined 4 5 elements Dan. I only know that in the Divine Cauldron Nation, only the great national master is able to produce 4 5 elements Dan, but it seems that their speed is not as fast as you. Xiao Baifeng looked at Chen Shang from a new angle. She had already confirmed that these 4 5 elements Dan were refined by Chen Shang, and he had refined them while chatting with her. Doesn't that mean I'm very powerful? Chen Shang pretended to be surprised. Xiao Baifeng nodded, very powerful. Amongst the middle-ranking alchemists, you alone can match up to 18 of them. You only need 1 set of medicinal ingredients and in 2 hours, you can refine 4 5 elements Dan, while the other alchemists need 4 sets of medicinal ingredients. Of course, there are a small number of young genius alchemists who are still inferior to you. Quote. Oh, then can I become your subordinate now? Chen Shang laughed. Although this Xiao Baifeng did not know how to laugh, he knew that this little beauty had a very good heart. Xiao Baifeng clenched his teeth and said, yes, you can follow me into Imperial 9 Palace. Once you're inside, you must listen to me and not run around inside. Otherwise, it's very easy for you to cause trouble. Quote. In Xiao Baifeng's eyes, Chen Shang was a young, talented alchemist, and her potential to grow up was very high. She might very well become a famous pill god in the future, which would be of help to herself. Chen Shang followed Xiao Baifeng and entered a large carriage pulled by several lions, and then entered the Imperial 9 Palace that was like a city in a city. This is your identity jade token. If someone asks you, show your jade tablet, and you will know that it's my, Xiao Baifeng's, people, and they will not do anything to you. Remember, don't cause trouble in there. Even I can't protect you if you provoke the royal daughter. Besides that, there are many royal relatives too. There are simply too many people who cannot be offended. For example, the subordinates of some of the God King, and the disciples of some of the God King A. Following that, Xiao Baifeng listed a lot of people that he could not offend, and sometimes, he might not even mess with some cats and dogs, because it was very possible that they were the pets of some royal girls. What a dangerous feeling. Is there any trouble stepping on a flower? Chen Shang sighed. Not bad, accidentally trampling an expensive flower to death will cause trouble. Xiao Baifeng nodded seriously. Elder sister Baifeng, I really admire you for being able to stay in there for so long. Chen Shang cupped his hands towards her, then took out his own backpack and grabbed Yue out. Elder sister Baifeng, can I bring this kitten in? This is my little pet. It has been with me for many years. Quote. Yue was only a little bigger than a palm, and her entire body was completely white. Her neck was being pinched by Chen Shang, and at this moment, she was waving her 4 short legs, meowing and calling her cute and adorable. Even the cold-looking Xiao Baifeng couldn't help but to reach out and carefully hold Yue up. Of course you can. Xiao Baifeng caressed Yue's palm affectionately. Chen Shang secretly despised Yue's cute little thing. He knew this little kitten's background. But you have to be careful not to let anyone else see. Especially those aristocratic ladies who like small animals. If they want to rob you, it will be troublesome. At this moment, Xiao Baifeng was reluctant to return Yue to Chen Shang. Elder sister Baifeng, why don't I temporarily hand it over to you? Those royal women wouldn't dare to ask for it from you, since you are one of the people by the Jade Cauldron Divine King's side. Chen Shang said. She is a special cat, you can't enter the storage magic treasure, otherwise, you will die and she will say something. Quote. Little thing, say a few words. Chen Shang used his finger to poke Yue's face. After Yue meowed a few times, she shouted, little scoundrel, don't touch me. When Chen Shang saw Xiao Baifeng laughing so happily, he also giggled. Elder sister Baifeng, take good care of this little thing. She has been with me for many years. Don't worry. Xiao Baifeng took out her own small backpack, looking much better looking than Chen Zhang's black bag. Yue, who was inside, also felt very comfortable. She understood Chen Zhang's intentions. After Chen Shang entered the Imperial Nine Palace, he definitely could not run around randomly, and Yue, who followed Xiao Baifeng, could get close to him. The Imperial Nine Palace was surrounded by a 9-sided city wall. The inside of the wall was extremely huge, like a few huge cities. When the car entered the gate, it stopped for a while. Someone then opened the car and checked inside to confirm the identity before letting the car continue on. Elder sister Baifeng, what do I need to do after I enter? Chen Shang asked. Stay at my residence for the time being. After that, I'll do my best to help you obtain the pill formula so that you can forge pills. Xiao Baifeng said, we are going to the Jade Cauldron Palace, one of them. Previously, it wasn't called Jade Cauldron Palace, but was now occupied by the princess, so its name was changed. Quote. Since I'm in Jade Cauldron Divine King's territory, then am I not very safe? What are you worried about? Chen Shang laughed. Hard to say, there are a lot of women and children in the Divine Lord. His weaker children would usually join the princess, a first-rate Divine King. Hence, the princes and royal girls were all very strong, having the blood of the Divine Lord. Adding on to that, their status and resources would make it impossible for ordinary people to compare to them. And you must know that people with such esteemed statuses normally look down on outsiders. Quote. I understand. I've met many of these fellows as well. Chen Shang laughed. What he did not say was that after this guy provokes him, most of them will be killed by him. Chen Shang felt that the carriage sped up, and before long, Xiao Baifeng let him off. The environment is pretty good. Chen Shang looked around. It was a medium-sized courtyard with a pond and an arch bridge. The pavilion was right beside a garden, and although the green and soft lawn was the most, the courtyard was very big, but the houses were relatively small. It was only a hall and a few rooms. This is already the Jade Cauldron Palace, you must not leave this courtyard. When I have time, I will bring you around to familiarize you with this place. Xiao Baifeng brought Chen Shang into one of the rooms. There's a secret room inside. It's good as long as you refine pills inside. My place is very quiet, no one will come here. Chapter 2128. Chen Shang was a person who was very curious. He had come to the Imperial Nine Palace but was locked in this courtyard not able to leave, which made him very bored. Furthermore, he didn't know what he should do here. Elder sister Baifeng, can you find something for me to do? For example, if you can get me a better Shangpin dance formula, it would be best if it can help with condensing divine deity. Chen Shang felt that Xiao Baifeng's position was not as low as she claimed it to be. Otherwise, she would not so casually give him a portion of the 5 elements Dan's medicinal ingredients. Xiao Baifeng said, I will do my best to help you get it. The good pill formulas are all in the hands of the great national master. If I want to obtain the pill formulas from him, I need to pay a large amount of Shen Yuan stone s. But you don't have to worry, I will do my best to fight for it from the princess. Quote, Elder sister Baifeng, tell me honestly, what is my alchemy level? Chen Shang asked. I just want to know if I have the qualifications to see Jade Cauldron Divine King. It's still not over yet. Wait till you refine the Shangpin Dan, and the speed and number of pills you refine will be the same as the 5 elements Dan. Then, I can assure you that the princess will definitely meet with you. Xiao Baifeng said. I can also tell her the pill refining ability that you have displayed and see if she will be interested in you, or if she will help you get a good pill formula. Chen Shang hurriedly nodded his head. If he had a good Shangpin Dan, then he wouldn't have to work so hard to create it. At that time, he would also be able to rely on this divine pellet to make himself stronger. His previous plan was to become stronger as soon as possible, because once the 9 heaven worlds succeeded in evolving, he would face a huge danger. If he had enough strength to fight against the strong enemies that were eyeing him covetously, then he wouldn't need to be on guard and hide. Elder sister Baifeng, when will you be back? Chen Shang saw that Xiao Baifeng had just turned around, and immediately grabbed her hand. Xiao Baifeng suddenly flung Chen Zhang's hand away and looked at Chen Shang in anger. Her hand had never been pulled by a man before. I'll be back tonight, you better not run around. Although Xiao Baifeng was angry from the bottom of his heart, he did not express it. Chen Shang watched as Xiao Baifeng left with Yue, and laughed. This woman seems to have never been touched by a man before, her reaction was so intense. There was a period of time between now and night, so Chen Shang could not waste time. He anxiously took out some spirit liquid and started to copy the bone-level Dan's ingredients, which was one of the ways to quickly obtain more strength, and it was to cultivate more bones. When Chen Shang entered the Imperial 9 Palace, because he was locked in this courtyard, he did not sense just how powerful the Imperial 9 Palace was. However, he knew that Xiao Yulan was very strong. The female servant by his side had 30 divine deity and a lot of level 1 divine kings as subordinates. Chen Shang believed that this Jade Cauldron Divine King would only need a small portion of power to completely annihilate all the powers in the 9 heaven world. Kilian, you must become strong as soon as possible. These divine nations are really too scary. Chen Shang went over to the window and looked at the blue sky. If he wanted to quickly obtain power, he could only constantly refine a large amount of high-level pellets, and right now he lacked a good pellet of Shangpin Dan. If he had a good pellet of Shangpin Dan, he also had a goal, and he felt that collecting any pellets here was not a difficult matter. As long as he had Shen Yuan stone s, it would be fine. At night, Xiao Baifeng returned, and Yue followed her. Initially, Chen Shang was still a little worried that Yue would be sent out, since Yue was a very likable little kitten. I have good news to tell you. It can help you gain the attention of the princess quickly. Xiao Baifeng carried Yue out of the backpack and allowed her to freely fly. She felt that Yue, who was trapped inside that backpack, must be very uncomfortable. Elder sister Baifeng, drink. Chen Shang quickly brought her a cup of fruit juice. After Xiao Baifeng sat down and took a big gulp, he said, you should already know the reason behind the civil war in our divine cauldron nation. Chen Shang nodded. I do, but this is because the various great powers all want to fight for the throne with the least possible losses. This is a method that is based on peace. That's right, this point was suggested by the princess, and it's not that her strength is insufficient, but she's very clear, as if fighting to the throne through a very bloody means, this divine cauldron nation will also lose greatly in strength, which is very disadvantageous for the entire divine cauldron nation. Xiao Baifeng drank all the remaining juice in one gulp. This fruit juice was extremely delicious. Therefore, Princess, you should go to those great national masters to have them come forward and mediate, and find a peaceful way to fight for the throne. So, Princess, you should go to those great national masters to discuss, and for those great national masters to come forward to mediate, and find a peaceful way to fight for the throne. Chen Shang said anxiously, Elder sister Baifeng, quickly tell us the good news. Xiao Baifeng reached out his hands to catch Yue, and said, the good news is that the 7 first-tier divine kings will decide who will be the divine lord by competing with each other. Oh, How is this good news for me? Chen Shang did not understand. This competition is a contest of strength. And also the great national master who will select the future, this will test the young generation. Xiao Baifeng said. A few great national masters are proficient in this aspect, and the most proficient are the great national masters who concoct pills. And in the future, great national master would definitely leave just like the other divine lord, and search for the path to longevity. So, there would have to be someone who would inherit the position of great national master. Quote. Chen Shang suddenly understood, but there were some things he did not understand. Xiao Baifeng continued, and this competition is a test of 7 level 1 divine kings by those great national masters. This is because in the future, one will have to be known as the, and not only will they have to have a strong divine lord, they will also have to have a great national master. At that time, the subordinates of the 7 great divine lords will conduct all sorts of competitions, and I will recommend you to participate in the alchemy competition. If you perform well, you might be groomed as a future great national master. Xiao Baifeng said, but according to my current understanding, during the competition, Shengpin Dan's and Supreme God pellets should be refined, and you might be able to. Xiao Baifeng frowned, the Supreme God pellet is impossible. But you don't have to worry, as long as you perform well while refining the Shengpin Dan, the princess will see through your potential. Quote. The Supreme God pellet was of a higher grade than the Shengpin Dan. Chen Shang had never even seen medicinal ingredients of the highest quality, let alone refined it. How much longer? Chen Shang was a person who liked to challenge others. He did not know how to refine the supreme pellet, but he planned to give it a try. Chapter 2129. In these 3 days, you can compete in the Central Divine Palace of Imperial 9 Palace. Other than refining pills, there are also competitions, refining weapons, setting up formations, and other sorts of competitions. As for your main task, pill refining, you don't have to worry about anything else. Chen Shang never thought that it would be this fast. If he had had 1 or 2 months, he might be very confident in breaking through to the supreme pellet, but he felt that it was impossible now. Don't worry, 3 days later, the preliminary round will be held. It will be a simple tester competition, and the candidates with more qualifications will have to be chosen. The time has yet to be set. Xiao Baifeng said. I have already reported what happened regarding you to the princess. She didn't seem to be too concerned about it, but she still gave me a pill formula. Is this the Shengpin Dan's pill formula? That's enough. Chen Shang immediately became overjoyed. Quickly give me the medicinal formula. Could it be that he didn't have any divine medicines? Or is it that divine medicine is hard to find? Quote. Seeing Xiao Baifeng's expression, Chen Shang was also extremely worried. If the pill formulas that Xiao Baifeng asked for were not good, he could only think of a way himself. That's not it. This is because this pill formula is very difficult to make. Although many pill gods have this formula, they have never refined it before. Xiao Baifeng sighed. To put it bluntly, these pill formulas are usually used to send people away. These broken pill formulae are everywhere on the streets, but there is not a single person who succeeded in forming a pill. That's all right. Do you have any medicinal ingredients? Chen Shang liked to refine things that were difficult to refine. This was a very good challenge for him. As long as there were ingredients, it would be fine. Divine medicines aren't a problem. This type of medicinal pill only requires 2 types. Moreover, they are quite common, and the price is also relatively cheap. Xiao Baifeng took out a jade tablet and gave it to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took it and looked, and penetrated his mind. He immediately frowned. This is indeed a little troublesome, let me try it first. Do you know what the difficulty is? When Xiao Baifeng was refining the 5 elements Dan, he knew that Chen Shang did not follow the pill formulas, but there must be some strange method. The difficulty lies in these 2 divine medicines. Chen Shang said. These 2 divine medicines are famous for being incompatible fire and water. The 3 disasters destroy flower and the merciful divine fruit, one is killing while the other is life. The 3 disasters destroy flower contains the 9 yang divine flame, while the merciful fruit contains the 9 yang divine flame. This is the energy of the elements, and the energy of the consciousness is also very strong. Quote. Xiao Baifeng nodded. Just like how I understood it, I heard that this pill formula was just another person's playbook and was used to fool others. There is no such formula, there is no way to refine a divine pellet. The reason princess gave me this pill formula was to send me off. However, this cannot be blamed on her. After all, what she needs now is someone that she can directly use. Quote. Help me buy these 2 herbs, 100 apiece. Chen Shang said. He felt that he could give it a try as he was also very interested in it. I'll help you get 10 portions temporarily. After Xiao Baifeng finished, he quickly left. Yue flew to Chen Zhang's shoulders and said, I saw that Xiao Yulan, he's a great beauty. Chen Shang snorted, so what if you're a great beauty? Was she as beautiful as Shenxian and the others? The person who took my wife, no matter how beautiful she is as ugly as shit in my eyes. Quote. Yu immediately laughed tenderly, don't let her hear that. If this woman gets angry, she can burn half of Imperial 9 Palace. Oh right, Chen Shang, are you really planning to refine this 9 yin and yang dan? Yu asked. Of course, have you heard of this kind of pill in Star Law Divine Realm? Chen Shang was very curious about this pill, especially regarding the effects of the 9 yin and yang dan. After consuming it, the medicinal effect would trigger the 9 transformations of the body, and during the process of the 9 transformations, the 9 transformations chi would be released, which could quickly condense divine deity. I've never heard of them, but I've heard of those 2 divine medicines. There are alchemists in the Star Law Divine Realm who can specially refine these 2 divine medicines into 2 high-quality divine pellets. Once they collide, they can create a very strong explosion. Yue said, you should have Baifeng prepare a better pill furnace for you. She should have helped me prepare it. This woman has a good heart. Chen Shang stroked his chin and laughed, although I don't know how to laugh, but it's a very good female slave embryo. Little scoundrel, Yue laughed and scolded him, when I went to see Xiao Yulan with her, I didn't hear anything about Shenxian and the others. Chen Shang took out a mirror, and laughed, my appearance has already been slightly changed, when the time comes, even if someone here recognizes me, they will only think that I look like one. I just don't know if my Chen Zhang's name has reached this Imperial 9 Palace or not. Quote. Xiao Baifeng returned very quickly. As expected, she had helped Chen Shang prepare a set of pill furnaces, and there were 3 of them. She did not concoct any pills, but she knew the effects of the 2 divine medicines clashing together. I've asked the person who sold the pill furnace, he said that even if the 3 disasters destroy flower and the merciful fruit collided, it would not cause any harm to the alchemist. Xiao Baifeng passed Chen Shang 3 very small pill furnaces. Here are 10 vials of divine medicine. It's already late at night so I can only get these 10 vials. Tomorrow, I will help you get more. Remember, don't go into closed-door training for too long. You will be participating in the preliminaries in 3 days. At that time, you only need to refine Zongbin Dan. Xiao Baifeng gave everything to Chen Shang. She also hoped that Chen Shang could grow up. This was the first time she trained him. Chen Shang laughed. Elder sister Baifeng, I heard that 3 disasters destroy flower and merciful fruit are divine medicines that can be grown. There shouldn't be just high-quality ones. Go and find out if there are any high-quality ones. All right, Xiao Baifeng nodded. Oh right, elder sister Baifeng, do you know the bone-level Dan's pill formula? Chen Shang asked. This, amongst the 9 divine nations only the great national master and his disciple know how to refine it. His disciple is also a prince, and although he only has the strength of the 3rd-rank divine king, he is considered to be someone who can compete for the throne. However, he disdains to compete for it. Xiao Baifeng shook his head. Don't think about bone-level Dan's heart also skipped a beat. The bone-level Dan was something that he accidentally obtained in the Supreme Divine Palace, but he didn't expect it to be passed down from the Divine Cauldron Nation, and it was even set up by the Great National Master himself. He felt that the Great National Master did it on purpose, to see if anyone else could obtain it, and then successfully refine it. What a powerful prince, 3rd-rank Divine King, and he's the disciple of Great National Master as well. Chen Shang exclaimed. He did not know that, at that time, this prince had secretly competed against him. Previously, the entire Imperial 9 Palace thought that he only possessed 20 to 30 divine deity, but even so, they felt that he was still able to compete for the throne. It was said that when someone wanted to make a move against him, he revealed his true strength. At the same time, he also declared that he would not struggle for the throne. Xiao Baifeng also admired this prince. Not just anyone could resist the temptation of power. Chapter 2130. Chen Shang took out a piece of paper, wrote down the names of the several divine medicines, and gave it to Xiao Baifeng. Elder sister Baifeng, go and check for me tomorrow. If you have any of these divine medicines, sell them to me. Remember, you must come in secret. It's for you to investigate, not ask, so you can't use your current identity. Chen Shang said seriously. The petite Xiao Baifeng was shorter than Chen Shang by 2 heads. When Chen Shang became serious at this moment, he gave off a kind of presence. All right, Xiao Baifeng looked at the divine medicine on it. She didn't know what pill it was used to refine, but she felt that it was a little familiar. These were all divine medicines used to refine bone-level Dan. Chen Shang only had low-quality divine medicines, while the middle-quality ones required a large amount of spirit liquid to ripen them. He was currently unable to cultivate with the girls to condense spirit pearls. He only needed to rely on his own spirit liquid to make them mature quickly. If they were to sell here, it would be extremely difficult, and if they were to use it, it would be the best. Chen Shang took the 2 divine medicines and excitedly went into the secret room to concoct pills. Deep into the night, Xiao Baifeng slept soundly. Yue flew out from her embrace and sat by the window, shaking her cute tail as she looked at the stars and the moon in the sky. Only the stars of the moon can live here. The moon here is quite big. Yue looked at Xing Yu, secretly using her power to communicate with Xing Yu, asking her if she had seen Shui Shenxian, Lu Meng'er and the others. Bam! A muffled sound rang out, jolting Xiao Baifeng awake. This kid blew up the furnace. When Xiao Baifeng heard the voice coming from Chen Zhang's secret room, he let out a sigh of relief and then continued to lie down. She looked at Yu who was squatting at the window and softly asked, Yu, what are you looking at? Yue mewed a few times, I miss home. Where is your home? Xiao Baifeng did not know about the matters of the Star Law Divine Realm, nor did he know about the matters of the Star Moon Divine Race. Far, far away. Yue said 3 things that were very far away, but that was because they were truly very far away. Did that brat capture you? Xiao Baifeng suddenly became angry. If you miss your home, I'll send you back. It's just that the other divine nations are in a mess right now, so it's not safe to go back. Xiao Baifeng only thought that Yue was brought here by Chen Shang from another divine nations. Yue shook her head. No, that little scoundrel saved me and helped me greatly. He also promised me that he would bring me home in the future. Yue had already sent a message to Starmoon, so the result would be revealed very soon. If Starmoon had seen Shui Shenxian's and his figure before, she would definitely tell her. Just then, another, bang, sound came out, and Chen Zhang's pill refinement exploded again. Several hours had passed, and before the sky brightened, Chen Shang had already refined all 10 batches of medicinal ingredients. When he walked out of the secret room, he was in a sorry state. Xiao Baifeng only had a little bit of information, but after hearing Chen Shang explode 10 times, she immediately rushed over. There were many broken pieces of the pill furnace inside the secret room. As expected, this 9 revolving god pill doesn't even exist. I wonder which bored fellow caused this. Xiao Baifeng looked at Chen Zhang's dirty body, and said, quickly go wash and rest. I will think of a way to help you look for the Shangpin Dan's pill formula. Don't try to refine the 9 reverse divine pill again, it will take your life. No, continue buying the divine medicine for me. How many Shen Yuan stones do you need? Chen Shang had asked for thousands and thousands of gold from LV Kilian, so he felt that it should be enough to buy a lot. 3 million a portion, 30 million yesterday. Xiao Baifeng sighed lightly. The Shen Yuan stone is not a problem, I have accumulated some over the years. The most important thing was whether he could concoct pills. Many famous alchemists have tried to concoct the 9 revolving god pill, but none of them succeeded, so don't be stubborn about it. Quote. Chen Shang took out 10 million Shen Yuan stone and said, help me buy 3 servings. Xiao Baifeng took it and looked at Yue helplessly, because he did not hear what she said before. I don't need the cauldron anymore. Chen Shang added, and then entered the secret room. After that he heard the sound of water splashing inside. He took a bath, and at the same time washed the ground clean. There's really nothing we can do about it. Xiao Baifeng sighed, returned to his room and washed up, put on some clothes, and walked out of the courtyard, wanting to help Chen Shang buy the 9 yin and yang dan's medicinal ingredients. Yue teleported into the secret room. It was very bright and spacious inside. Chen Shang took out a bathtub inside, and at this moment, he was underwater. Hey, is there a chance for the 9 yin and yang dan? Yu asked. He must have succeeded, but he thinks that only he can succeed, which is why he released the pill formula. After so many years, no one has succeeded, so he is even more pleased with himself. Chen Shang came out from under the bathtub. The one who created the pill formula is declaring war to others, I must beat him. Who would be so bored? Yue was curious about this. It should be Divine Cauldron Nations. This guy is the best at refining pills, he must have spread the news about the pill formulas. Back then, bone level Dan were also obtained by this fellow. Other than him, I can't think of anyone else who would be that bored. Chen Shang chuckled. Since that's the case, I will accept his challenge. I must refine this 9 yin and yang Dan. Xiao Baifeng left early in the morning. She returned at noon, and Chen Shang was already waiting for her in the hall. This is the Tianwo Dan's pill formula, I bought it. Xiao Baifeng threw a jade tablet to Chen Shang. This is the Shengpin Dan's medicinal formula, even though it is a common product, at least it will allow you to become an alchemist capable of refining Shengpin Dan. The Tianwo Dan's divine medicine, a total of 10 of them. Xiao Baifeng placed a storage bag on the table. When she saw the disappointment on Chen Zhang's face, she could not help but snort. And this, 30 pieces of the 9 reverse divine pellets divine medicine. Seeing the ingredients for the 9 reverse divine pill, Chen Shang finally revealed a smile. He was secretly moved in his heart. Xiao Baifeng must have used a lot of Shen Yuan stone to get all these for him. Elder sister Baifeng, you are really good to me, just like you are to your own little brother. I will not let you down. Laughed, taking those things, the thing he cared about the most was 9 yin and yang Dan. Xiao Baifeng glanced at Chen Shang snappily, because it was as if Chen Shang was possessed by a demon in her eyes. In order to obtain these items, I have already expended more than half of my savings. Work hard. After Xiao Baifeng finished speaking, he hurriedly ran out again. This was because Chen Shang had told her last night to help her check if any bone-level Dan were being sold. Chapter 2131. Chen Shang had quite a number of 9 yin and yang Dan's medicinal herbs, but he was not in a hurry to refine them. Just as Xiao Baifeng had said, this Tianwo Dan was a popular commodity and was sold in many pill shops. Although many alchemists knew how to refine Shengpin Dan, that did not mean that these divine pills were very cheap. High-quality Tianwo Dans were also relatively more expensive. Refining the Tianwo Dan first, we can't let elder sister Baifeng waste all that effort. Chen Shang knew that Xiao Baifeng had already used up a lot of Shen Yuan stone just for him, so he wanted to let Xiao Baifeng see a glimmer of hope, or at least let Xiao Baifeng feel that his Shen Yuan stone was not spent in vain. The Tianwo Dan's pill formulas should have all been sold at price, and after so many years, they were uncontrollable. But according to what I know, there are very few alchemists who can refine Tianwo Dan to the extreme. Chen Shang took out a jade box and opened it. Inside was a grass the size of a palm, it was slightly thick and red in color. This was a blazing grass, Shengpin medicine S, it was rather common. The quality of the blazing grass is not bad. The Shengpin medicine in this kind of place all grow quite well. Chen Shang placed the scorching grass on his cheek as he felt the warmth coming from it, then took out a small, red leaf. This leaf came out from the jade box, and after coming in contact with the natural energy of the outside world, it immediately began to emit flames. Divine Flame Leaf. The leaves on the heavenly fire tree, and the red tree roots beside it, should be the heavenly fire root. Chen Shang picked up a root and sniffed it, smelling a faint fragrance. Blazing grass, God fire leaves and heaven fire root were the main divine medicines to refine Tianwo Dan S. The Tianwo Dan's main function was to strengthen the mysterious powers fire attribute. There were some people that had fire mysterious power S that were not pure enough, and needed Tianwo Dan S to cultivate, to make their own flame power S even more powerful. There were a lot of people who trained in flame power, so these Tianwo Dan were relatively easy to sell. It was just that the lower quality Tianwo Dan were relatively cheaper, and there were a lot of alchemists that could refine it, so these Tianwo Dan were all considered inferior Shengpin Dan in the eyes of many high-level alchemists. But in Chen Zhang's eyes, it was different. As long as it was a pill, being able to refine it into the highest level of peak quality, that kind of wonderful feeling of accomplishment made him feel extremely happy and excited. It's been a long time since I've refined a peak quality pill. I came to challenge a Shengpin Dan this time. I want to refine a cauldron of peak quality S. Chen Shang had also refined peak quality many times before, and this time, the goal he set was not only to reach the peak quality which would burst out with the pill light, but also to produce more pills. Have you heard of the divine spiritual pill? Chen Shang asked. He had participated in a competition before, and at that time he had to refine a Lingguang Dan. Based on the foundation of refining a peak quality, he added another method to the competition, allowing him to refine just one Lingguang Dan out of every set of ingredients. Of course I've heard of it. This was a divine pill of extremely high quality that could be created by combining multiple ingredients. Generally speaking, this is only done during alchemist's self-challenge. After all, it requires a lot of medicinal materials and it only requires a single divine pellet, yet the cost is very high. It is difficult to sell it for a high price, and even lower prices are not enough to return the price, so it is very rare to see it on the market. Yue didn't go out with Xiao Baifeng. Previously, she only followed Xiao Baifeng because she wanted to see what kind of woman Xiao Yulan was. Chen Shang nodded his head. That is the refining methods of the other alchemistess, and as long as I am serious, after a bit of time, a portion of the ingredients will be able to concoct a divine pellet with spirit energy. He had already started a fire and was going to refine it. This was his first time refining a Shangpin Dan, so he was very careful. The resistance energy released by these divine medicines was very strong, and he also needed to slowly burn the spirit blood that produced these divine medicines. Chen Shang began to burn these 3 sets of god medicine. The most difficult thing for Shangpin Dan was that the spirit inside the Shangpin medicine had a stronger repulsive force, which caused it to be difficult to fuse with. Chen Shang had never used the original source refining and the spirit strengthening technique to refine Shangpin Dan, so he did not know what kind of difficult problem he would face right now. What's going on? No spirit blood appeared yet. Chen Shang was a little anxious, because the 3 divine medicines had already been refined for a long time and no spirit blood had been produced. If they did not appear now, this furnace would be considered crippled. I'm almost at my limit. Chen Shang saw that the 3 medicinal ingredients were about to completely transform into medicine aura, and was even more anxious. He had controlled the refining speed to be very slow from the start, and it was impossible to miss the opportunity for spirit blood to appear. But now that the 3 divine medicines were like this, it made him worried. If he could not use the original source refining on the Shangpin Dan, then he would need more time to comprehend other refining methods. Just as he was worrying secretly, he suddenly saw the 3 spirit bloods. It was just that the spirit blood was different from what he imagined, it was all purple. Blazing grass, God fire leaf and heaven fire root all had a fiery red appearance, and spirit blood should also have a fiery red fire shape. But now, he saw that the spirit blood of the 3 divine medicines were all purple flames. Something strange has happened. Chen Shang was ecstatic. When he was refining the Junyang gold ginseng before, something had happened. Feng Yuji had told him before that abnormal situations were extremely rare, and would usually appear in high-grade divine medicines. The mutation not only increased the quality of the medicine many times over, but it also gave birth to other uses. The 3 spirit bloods aren't even balanced. I need to use a strong spirit technique to balance them before I begin the fusion. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. In the past, when he was refining, he would at most use a portion of medicinal ingredients to cause a change. He did not have the experience to refine Shangpin Dan in the first place, so when encountering this kind of situation, he had to be extremely careful, or else he would fail. You need to be strong for a period of time. The difference between the spirit blood in these 3 divine medicines is great, and the spirit blood is the strongest among the root. You need to strengthen the blazing grass and the god's fire leaf to the same level of strength as the heavenly fire root. Chen Zhang's progress so far was extremely smooth, but he had used quite a bit of time. It was already dark, and when Xiao Baifeng returned, he thought that Chen Shang would wait for her outside. He didn't expect that he would still be locked inside the secret room. Xiao Baifeng did not see the interior of the secret room, otherwise she would have been shocked, because the secret room was currently filled with an intense purple light. Chen Shang had already refined the pill furnace and reacted quickly. He had replaced the pill furnace with magic method furnace in time. Chapter 2132. Yue stayed at the corner of the secret room, staring wide-eyed at the strong purple light emitted by Chen Zhang's transparent magic method furnace. Through the purple light, she could see Chen Shang fusing 3 balls of purple medicine aura. Chen Shang had already completed his spirit strengthening and was entering the stage of fusion. At this point, he had to be even more careful, because the moment he started fusing, the berserk barrage of pressure would shatter the entire pill furnace. This brat, what is he doing? Yue could not understand what Chen Shang was doing. Previously, she saw that those 3 divine medicines were all fiery red, but now they had all become purple. Furthermore, from the looks of those rays of light, those purple medicine aura were extremely terrifying. Chen Shang took an hour to finally squeeze the 3 balls of medicine aura together, and perfectly fused them together. At the moment of fusion, an even more intense purple light exploded forth. At that moment, it was also the most violent. That was close. I almost lost it. Chen Shang heaved a long sigh. He almost couldn't suppress his magic method furnace just now. And to use magic method furnace, in order to make the magic method furnace stronger, he had to use even more 6 realms power. Is it time to start condensing the pill? She knew this step, and Chen Shang had also begun to divide the medicine aura into 6 parts. It's actually 6 pills, Yue said in surprise. Her Star Law Divine Realm also had this kind of Tianwo Dan, but she understood that it would be difficult to condense even 3, but Chen Shang had more than doubled. Chen Shang originally only planned to condense 4 pills, but he never thought that after the change, after fusing with the beasts again, he would suddenly produce so many medicine aura. Right now, he was only able to condense 6 pills in a conservative situation. If he wanted to challenge the limit, he felt that he could still condense 1 or 2 more pills. Now that he had experienced the benefits of the magical medicine's mutation, there would be many more medicine aura. He felt that the change must be related to his Chuangzhao fire, otherwise it wouldn't be such a coincidence that he encountered this kind of situation twice. After dividing the pill into 6, Chen Shang took a deep breath. The following step was extremely crucial, and he did not plan on condensing the pill as simply as he did now. Charge! Chen Shang shouted in his heart and fiercely controlled the 6 separated groups of medicine aura to undergo a high-speed and violent collision within a short distance. What are you doing? This is killing me. The instant they collided, Yue felt as if her cat's eye was going to be blinded by those purple lights. What she found inconceivable was that the instant they collided, they actually burst forth with a terrifying aura. Yue, who was inside the secret room, and even Xiao Baifeng, who was outside, could feel the aura of a king descending from the heavens. What's he doing in there? Xiao Baifeng suddenly stood up and looked at Chen Zhang's secret room. After fusing the 3 balls of mutated medicine aura, they had become many times stronger and were already very violent. Then, they were split into 6 by Chen Shang. The moment they collided, even Chen Shang was shocked by the power that exploded out. He could clearly feel the speed at which the quality of the energy increased after the collision. Yue and Chen Shang both looked in shock at the center of the magic method furnace. At this moment, there was a purple ball there, just like a purple round jewel. It actually turned into liquid. Yue couldn't help but cry out in alarm, "What are you doing? It's just 3 pieces of broken medicinal herbs, but after a few tries, you've become so frightening." Quote. Chen Shang was also very excited at this moment. He laughed proudly. This is concocting pills, transforming rotting into a miracle. With that, he immediately divided the purple liquid into 10 groups. Yue seemed to be numb to it all. If that ball of liquid suddenly hit a boar, she would not be surprised, and would definitely understand the terrifying technique that was Chen Shang used to concoct pills. 10 pills. Very quickly, Chen Shang was able to condense 10 purple pellets, and they were of high quality, shining with a purple gold light. These were Shengpin Dan with spiritual lights. This seems to be the spiritual light. Yu said. That's right, this is a Tianwo Dan with spirit energy after mutation. Chen Shang laughed and wiped his sweat. On the way here, he spent more than a day to concoct the pill. After walking out of the secret room, Xiao Baifeng, who was sitting in the center of the room, immediately stood up. He looked at Chen Shang, who was covered in sweat, and Yue, who had flown out. So the kitten is inside. I thought she was running around. Xiao Baifeng carried Yue who had flown over, and asked, "Shen Fei, what are you doing inside? Such a huge commotion, did it explode?" Quote. That pill furnace has turned to ash. Chen Shang looked at the pill furnace in the secret room. Originally, it was only a fragment. Failed, don't be too anxious. Even if you miss this match, you still have a lot of chances. Xiao Baifeng also knew that she had given Chen Shang too much pressure. She was worried that Chen Shang would be affected by the pressure and be unable to display his true abilities. No, I did it. Chen Shang took out a jade box and handed it over, then said with a smile, "Elder sister Baifeng, take a look, do you recognize what pill this is?" Xiao Baifeng opened the jade box, and inside the jade box, a wave of scorching air surged out, causing her to have no choice but to avert her head. This is a spiritual light. Xiao Baifeng suddenly widened her beautiful eyes that were filled with astonishment, and involuntarily shouted. This kind of quality, it's a divine spiritual pill. Yes, but do you know what kind of divine pill this is? Chen Shang did not know what effects the mutated Tianwo Dan would have. Is this a 9 yin and yang dan? Xiao Baifeng asked. She had eaten Tianwo Dan before, and had seen it many times, but the purple gold divine pellet in the jade box was completely different from the ones she had seen before. No, the 9 yin and yang Dan is even stronger. This is what Tianwo Dan's divine medicine looks like after it mutated. Later on, I used the method of refining spirit light to refine it, and it became like this. Eat one and see how effective it is. Chen Shang said. Xiao Baifeng ate one pellet, and then asked, you used up all of your divine pellets? One needs to have more medicinal ingredients to refine the spiritual light. Quote, the effects are 7 or 8 times stronger than the superior grade Tianwo Dan I've eaten before. Furthermore, there is another kind of a, Xiao Baifeng took in a deep breath of cool air, her petite jade face was full of surprise. There is another type of power that can increase one's divine soul. Is this another effect that comes from mutation? The increase in divine soul is more obvious. Quote, Chen Shang laughed faintly. How many Shen Yuan stone can you sell? 20 million pills definitely won't be a problem. Xiao Baifeng said. 30 million is possible. Just how many medicinal ingredients did you use? 1 set. Chen Shang laughed mischievously. Relax, I have never done things that are out of the ordinary. How can I spend your Shen Yuan stones to buy medicinal formulas for me, and also help me purchase the 9 yin and yang dan's medicinal ingredients? I'll get it back for you soon. Quote. Chapter 2133. Xiao Baifeng felt like he had picked up a treasure, and the way he looked at Chen Shang became gentler. After all, Chen Zhang's pill refining skills had already surpassed her understanding of pill refining. Elder sister Baifeng, how much did you spend on the pill formulas? Chen Shang asked. 700 million Shen Yuan stone. Xiao Baifeng said. And this is the cheapest price, because I know someone, that's why I can take them down, if not I would have required another 300 to 200 million. If the Tianwo Dan I refined is very popular, then it won't be long before you make a comeback. Chen Shang laughed. I have only used 1 set of divine medicines now. Once I familiarize myself with it, I will be able to concoct it faster. Xiao Baifeng was no longer suspicious of Chen Zhang's strength. If she sold the 9 Tianwo Dan in her hands, she would probably sell it for 300 million. Even if it was her, it would still take many years before she could save up to that much. Elder sister Baifeng, can you help me get a better pill furnace? Chen Shang was a little embarrassed, because Xiao Baifeng had said before that she had used up most of her Shen Yuan stone. No problem, Xiao Baifeng nodded his head. The competition is about to begin. At that time, you only need to refine the Zongpin Dan and you will be able to pass. At that time, the princess will personally watch the competition, and when that time comes, you will have to reveal your strength. If you can become famous by then these 9 divine pills will be even more expensive. Quote. Elder sister Baifeng, I feel that you are very similar to an acquaintance of mine. Chen Shang suddenly laughed. What do they look like? Xiao Baifeng slightly turned her head, but she was still unable to bear Chen Zhang's gaze. She's called Little Lizzie, and is as petite as you are, also a beauty who looks cold but looks warm inside. Furthermore, she's been by the side of a very powerful woman since she was young, and is also very powerful. Chen Shang laughed. I used to tease her and let her be my wife. HMPH, you. Xiao Baifeng lightly glared at him. You can tell at a glance that this isn't a good thing. If I were her, I would definitely not follow you. Chen Shang chuckled. Not necessarily, not necessarily. Little scoundrel, little scoundrel. Yu giggled. Xiao Baifeng smiled lightly, touched Yue, and said, there is news about the few divine medicines you asked me to inquire about, and they are rarely sold on the market. But I heard that one of our divine cauldron nations specially purchased these divine medicines for a relatively high price. Can you buy it? Chen Shang asked. That great national master must be the one who knew how to refine bone-level Dan. Sure, you need something mid-tier. How many portions do you want? Xiao Baifeng asked. Within your capabilities, you can do as much as you want. This is very important to me. Elder sister Baifeng, I will definitely not treat you unfairly in the future. Chen Shang spoke seriously, and continued. Oh right, when you buy it, you better keep it a secret, so that no one can find out who bought it, is that all right? Sure, Xiao Baifeng nodded his head. Go rest, don't refine pills tomorrow, rest up and go participate in the preliminaries. Xiao Baifeng woke up very early and busied himself with the things that Chen Shang had told her. In the Imperial Nine Palace, although a female servant like her had the protection of the Jade Cauldron Divine King, Xiao Yulan, she was still looked down upon. Even the young royal prince, who was much weaker than her, treated her like a slave. And it was only because of Xiao Yulan's face, which was why he was usually so polite to her. However, Xiao Baifeng did not want to continue like this. She needed to obtain even stronger power, and her talent was limited. If she could not break through, when she grew old, Xiao Yulan would let her leave the Imperial Nine Palace and let her focus on cultivation. And now that she met Chen Shang, this genius alchemist, she had other plans in mind. Even though she was Xiao Yulan's female servant, she wasn't usually able to be with Xiao Yulan. Furthermore, in the Imperial Nine Palace, she was always scheming, and it was difficult for her to find someone she trusted that she could trust. But what Chen Shang did was different. Chen Shang trusted her a lot, and she trusted Chen Shang the same. Chen Shang constantly called her elder sister Baifeng, which made her feel especially close. No one had ever called her that, because in the eyes of many in the Imperial Nine Palace, she was just a lowly female servant. Because of her loss of these things, she had gradually forgotten how to smile, so she always seemed cold. Therefore, when she was with Chen Shang, Yue would occasionally smile. It was just that she was unable to see how beautiful her smile was, while Chen Shang and Yue were able to see it. Little scoundrel, quickly get up. Yue used her tail to sweep at Chen Zhang's nose, forcing him to wake up. Has it been ruined? Chen Shang yawned, refining that mutated Tianwo Dan made him very tired. No, don't you think the elder sister Baifeng is a little pitiful? At least she smiled in front of us. The last time I went with her to see Xiao Yulan, she didn't smile at all when she saw him. Yu said. Chen Shang sighed. That's normal, this is related to the environment she grew up in. I have also met this kind of woman before. Sister Yu was like this in the past. Quote. Yue nodded her head and replied, last time when I followed her to a place relatively close to Jade Cauldron Palace, I heard many people say that she was a servant girl, that she was a slut that was hard to listen to, and that she had spoken very loudly. It seems like after living here for so many years, she has yet to integrate into this environment and has instead been ostracized. Quote. Because this place doesn't give her any warmth or trust, she herself also rejects others. This is normal, this kind of place has too many scheming, if she does this, it would be a form of self-protection. As a result, people would secretly gossip about her, or at least avoid too much trouble. Chen Shang understood this better. Why did you suddenly ask me this? The words she said to me last night were all complaints, so I hope you can help her. Yue stuck out her tongue. Even though she has 30 divine deity, she's very pitiful. No problem, but I need to find an opportunity. In short, I will take this to heart. After all, she treats me quite well. Chen Shang nodded and agreed. Chen Shang did not refine pills today, but had carefully adjusted himself and only returned in the evening. I haven't bought any of those magical medicines yet. It will take me a while to get them. Xiao Baifeng was wearing a very simple light purple dress. The moment she came back, she sat down and looked very tired. Chen Shang hastily brought tea for her to drink. Elder sister Baifeng, you must have worked hard for the whole day. Is he helping Jade Cauldron Divine King with something? Quote. Yeah, she told me to buy some things. Xiao Baifeng nodded. Seeing how considerate Chen Shang was in serving her, she smiled at him. Shen Fei, the preliminaries are going to start tomorrow. I just got the news that the disciples of the great national master are also going to participate in the alchemy competition. Chapter 2134. Chen Shang had heard Xiao Baifeng talk about the great national master's disciple before. He was a third-ranked divine king, but he possessed the power to fight for the throne. Which side does he represent? Chen Shang asked. Didn't you say there are 7 first-rate divine kings competing? His appearance should be on behalf of one of the celestial kings, right? Quote. Xiao Baifeng said. I originally thought it would be like that, but in reality it isn't. It's just that Prince thought it was fun, and he himself is an alchemist with extraordinary strength, so he also wants to join in the fun. This fellow must be here to cause trouble. Chen Shang never thought that it would be like this. He was also extremely curious now how powerful this prince was. If his performance is really outstanding, then he might become a great national master in the future, and he might even possess royal bloodline. Xiao Baifeng caressed Yue who was being naughty, and laughed softly. but you don't have to worry, your competition does not need to contend for the first place, it is also not something that you can contend for with your current strength. You just need to demonstrate your strength. I believe that when the time comes, the princess will definitely see through your potential. Chen Shang nodded his head, but he still wanted to fight for it. Right now, it was a good opportunity to compete with many outstanding alchemists within a divine nations. Yue suddenly meowed, someone's coming. This guy just pushed the door open and came in. After Xiao Baifeng sensed the familiar aura, he was suddenly shocked and said in a low voice, "It's a princess." Originally, she wanted to let Chen Shang take cover for a while. She didn't want him to get caught, but that prince had already walked in. This was the first time Chen Shang had seen a prince of divine nations. This prince was very young, around the age of 18, although his face was not bad, but he was tall and thin, like a bamboo rod that would fall if he were to blow. It gave off a very thin feeling, but he was wearing a luxurious golden robe. This set of clothes gave him a noble aura, and he looked like a noble of the imperial family. "Ming Prince, it's already late. If you have anything to say it tomorrow." When Xiao Baifeng was speaking with Chen Shang just now, her expression was very gentle, and there was even a faint smile on her face. However, the moment Ming Prince arrived, she immediately recovered her ice-cold expression. Ming Prince saw a man here, and he was tall and handsome. This caused his heart to be filled with rage, and he spoke with an angry tone of voice. "Xiao Baifeng, I didn't think that you would hide a man here. Bringing an outsider into the Imperial Nine Palace is a capital offense." Quote, "He's not an outsider, he's the princess's subordinate, he just joined the group. Here's his jade medallion." Xiao Baifeng immediately took out a jade tablet, on it was Chen Zhang's name, and the bright side of the jade tablet also had his appearance. Other than that, there was a small cauldron carved at the bottom right corner of the jade tablet, and the words, "Xiao Yulan," were written on top of the cauldron. Chen Shang immediately understood that this jade tablet was something that Xiao Baifeng had just obtained. Only by obtaining Xiao Yulan's authentication would his identity be recognized. He belongs to me now, so why is he staying with me temporarily? Is there something wrong with that? Although her expression was ice-cold, the way she spoke was still very gentle. After all, she had always been like this. "Xiao Baifeng, there is now a chance for you to soar into greatness. As long as you agree to it, your identity will undergo a tremendous change." When Ming Prince found out that Chen Shang was not Xiao Baifeng's man, he felt much more comfortable and his tone became better. "What chance?" Xiao Baifeng asked. "Be my concubine." The prince faintly smiled. "You don't have to worry about that prince consort of mine. He only came to find you because he persuaded her. As long as you agree, even the imperial sister cannot oppose him." Xiao Baifeng rejected him immediately. "No, I'm not so unlucky as to be able to bear it. I have already gotten used to being a servant girl. Ming Prince, please go back." Ming Prince was immediately angered. He waved his hand and gathered a burst of godly power, preparing to attack. "Ming Prince, please behave yourself." Xiao Baifeng's voice suddenly became ice-cold, and divine power condensed in his body. "I understand, you must be having an affair with this guy. HMPH, I'll go and tell my royal sister right now. You must know that my royal sister hates her servant girl the most for doing such despicable things." Ming Prince looked at Chen Shang and snorted. Then, he left in a hurry. Seeing that he had left, Chen Shang laughed. "Elder sister Baifeng, you are quite powerful, didn't you tell me to be careful of these princes, and not to provoke them? You seem to have offended him already." Quote. Xiao Baifeng coldly snorted. "It's just that this guy is too useless. In all these years, he only has 15 years of divine deity and it's even so tyrannical. Isn't it just because he has a very powerful mother? He and his mother are both part of the princess faction, so I can only bear with it a little." Quote. Not to mention that this fellow has a decent princess concubine, there are more than 100 women by his side, and they're still not satisfied. They go everywhere to pick a flower and make trouble for him. Chen Shang laughed. "The women beside him are probably not that powerful either. That's why I wanted to subdue a heavenly god like you who has 30 divine deity." Quote. Xiao Baifeng glared fiercely at Chen Shang. "Go back and sleep. Tomorrow, I'll bring you to participate in the preliminaries." She had 30 divine deity, so even if she wanted to find a guy, she couldn't be too different from him. Even if she rejected him, she had to at least have potential, and that Ming Prince didn't have any potential at all. It was only 15 years old and Xiao Baifeng had already defeated him with a single slap. Even if it was a prince, Xiao Baifeng had no interest in him. In the morning, Chen Shang was woken up by Yue's small tail. Yue was just a cat at night. Little scoundrel, I have some information on Shenxian and the others. After communicating with Xingyu for a few days, I finally got some rewards. Yu said. Is that true? Chen Shang pinched her small tail, causing her to meow loudly. They were brought to a mountain inside the Jade Cauldron Palace. I will have the stars and moon draw out a detailed map for them in a few days and then pass it on to you. Yue replied, elder sister Baifeng has already woken up and is waiting for you. Chen Shang looked outside the window. The sky had only just brightened. After he finished washing up, he walked into the hall and saw Xiao Baifeng in a white dress sitting there. Beside her, there was even some food. Elder sister Baifeng, you look so pretty in a white dress. Although this dress is a bit old, when worn on you, it gives you a kind of simple beauty. Chen Shang freely praised him, but Xiao Baifeng thought that he was just saying those flowery words. Do you want me to give you some beautiful dresses? I'll go out and pick a few good ones another day. Chen Shang had good taste. After all, he had many great beauties by his side. No need, I can't be that eye-catching in Imperial 9 Palace. Xiao Baifeng shook his head, looking at the pastries on the table. Hurry up and eat it, it's useful to you, it can let you relax. Chapter 2135. Chen Shang laughed as he walked over. He grabbed a piece of cake and threw it into his mouth, chewing on it as he said, what a joke, do you think I would be nervous? Experience was much richer than Xiao Baifeng's, who had 30 divine deity, and had experienced many great waves. Oh right, the Ming Prince went to complain to the Jade Cauldron Divine King, will that affect you? Chen Shang asked. The princess will definitely believe me. It's not like she doesn't know the notoriety of Ming Prince. It is only because Ming Prince's mother had decent strength, that is why she allowed her mother to stay in the Jade Cauldron Palace. Xiao Baifeng did not take this matter to heart at all. After Chen Shang finished eating, he immediately stood up and walked out of the courtyard with Chen Shang. Get in, the place we are going is a little far, the center of Imperial 9 Palace. Many people will be participating in today's preliminaries, and at least 3,000 will be able to refine pills. Xiao Baifeng said, these 3,000 alchemists are all powerful forces, and our Jade Cauldron Palace has 300 of them. Do the alchemists of the Jade Cauldron Palace have a meeting to exchange pointers? Chen Shang asked. No, the situation of these alchemists are basically similar to yours. There is a special person in charge who can help them buy divine medicine and refine divine pills that they can sell to the Jade Cauldron Palace's manager in charge of purchasing divine pills. In short, you have yet to enter the sect. If you were to receive Jade Cauldron Palace's acknowledgement, I can directly use the Jade Cauldron Palace to purchase divine medicines in the future. It would be much cheaper. Xiao Baifeng said. Chen Shang scratched Yue's itch and laughed. That's also good, that is to say, the stronger I am, the more benefits you will receive, right? Yes, if you can concoct a lot of good divine pellets and I sell these to the Jade Cauldron Palace, I will be able to obtain rewards from the Jade Cauldron Palace. These rewards will all be useful to me. Xiao Baifeng said. It's just that not everyone can find a good alchemist to work with. Now that you have found him, I am a very good alchemist. Chen Shang laughed out loud. I'm not bragging. Xiao Baifeng only snorted lightly. She couldn't deny that Chen Zhang's pill refining was indeed heaven-defying. Very quickly, Xiao Baifeng's car stopped. After Chen Shang followed her out of the car, they saw a huge octagonal-shaped building in the plaza ahead of them, which was constructed entirely out of huge golden rocks. It was at least 300 meters tall, and was extremely grand. Xiao Baifeng handed over a jade token to Chen Shang and said, this is your identity plate, I have already helped you register for the pill. Just wait a moment, go and refine the pill according to the rules. Xiao Baifeng tugged on Chen Shang. Stop looking, quickly go in. At this time, among the people who had entered the eight-corner hall, there were quite a few who were dressed extravagantly. Chen Shang felt that those people were all aristocrats of the imperial family, and that quite a few of the people participating in the competition would be princes and grandchildren of those with such esteemed status. Xiao Baifeng, is this your little man? Not bad, your face and figure are pretty good. A mocking voice came from afar. Chen Shang immediately looked over. There was a beautiful woman dressed in a luxurious red dress. Xiao Baifeng only glanced at the woman once before circling around her to continue walking forward, as if he hadn't seen her at all. Xiao Baifeng, the entire Jade Cauldron Palace knows about you raising a young man now, eh? Hee, let's see if the princess can bear with your actions. The alluring woman laughed again. Her voice was so loud that everyone present could hear her, and they all turned to look at her. He is an alchemist who is cooperating with me. I have told the princess that I do not need you to worry about him. If you continue to fabricate facts to ruin my reputation, don't blame me for being impolite. I, Xiao Baifeng, am not a soft persimmon. Xiao Baifeng was furious. Her petite body was releasing her anger, causing the enchanting woman's face to turn pale white. Just as Xiao Baifeng was enraged, Chen Shang suddenly shot forward like an arrow, raised his hand and slapped across. The alluring woman immediately turned her head to the side to avoid the attack. Clearly, she was quite strong as well. Bitch, don't make me up. I'm a little man. Don't think I wouldn't dare to hit you just because you're a woman. Chen Shang had purposely slowed down a bit just now. If not with his explosive strength, even if this enchanting woman had 30 divine deity, he would still be able to hit her. Xiao Baifeng was also very surprised. She never thought that she would actually make a move, and at such a fast speed, it was almost impossible to feel his movement trajectory, as though he had arrived in front of that woman in an instant. Hurry up and leave her be. Xiao Baifeng reprimanded. The preliminary competition is more important. Chen Shang snorted, and followed behind Xiao Baifeng, and quickly entered the octagonal hall. There were a lot of people inside that looked to be in chaos, but Xiao Baifeng was very familiar with this place. Chen Shang saw that there were a lot of people concocting pills. The pill furnaces were emitting hot steam, some pill furnaces were trembling violently, some of them were letting out red light. The alchemists were seriously concocting pills. How do I pass the preliminaries? Chen Shang asked. The preliminaries are designed to eliminate a large portion of alchemists who are at a lower level. So, the first thing you need to do is to be able to refine a high-quality Zongpan Dan, and then you need to produce more than 2 pellets. Xiao Baifeng said. This is the rule of refining pills, and before that, there is even a flame test. The flames are not qualified, and can't even be used to concoct pills later. Xiao Baifeng pointed to a stone tablet not far away. This stone tablet was as tall as 3 people, and there were 100 patterns on it. There were 2 holes at the bottom of the stone tablet. Chen Shang saw a person placing his hands inside it to release flames. After the flames were released, a red beam of light would shoot straight up. Now, after the person released the flame, he could only go up to the 8th inscription. I need to go to the 10th place to pass. Xiao Baifeng said. This Fire Shang Divine Tablet was a divine tool forged by the Heavenly Divine Lord back then. It is said that only the flames of the Heavenly Divine Lord can reach the top of the 100th inscription pattern. Does it get harder the higher you go? Chen Shang never thought that he would be able to see the works of the Heavenly Divine Lord here. At this time, there were already 3 people who had come to try, and the number had not even reached 10. He hadn't thought that it would be so hard. Those who were able to participate in the preliminary heats at least had some foundation, but they had actually rolled out here. What's so good about refining pills? Why do I feel like there are a lot of people watching us? Chen Shang looked around. This area was rather crowded, but there were very few people participating in the pill refining exam. He is waiting for the Prince Ping. Xiao Baifeng said. Prince Ping is that great national master's disciple, the young 3rd-rank divine king. His name is Xiao Ping. Chen Shang asked. I never thought that he would be so popular. Of course, because he rarely appears, but there are all sorts of legends about him. Even many princes and princesses have seen him. Xiao Baifeng said. The Prince Ping is here. Suddenly, someone shouted. Chapter 2136. Hearing someone shout, Chen Shang, like many others, looked around. Soon enough, he saw a man in red robes walking over, and behind him was an old man. This red-clothed man was Xiao Ping, whom he had secretly fought with Chen Shang alone when he had watched Chen Shang refine bone-level Dan. He was the disciple of the great national master, and he was also currently one of the few who could refine bone-level Dan. He wasn't very handsome, but he could still be considered pretty. He walked over at a leisurely pace with a faint smile on his face. His clothes weren't very luxurious, his body didn't exude a strong aura, and he didn't have a very handsome appearance. But for some reason, he gave off an extremely charming feeling, making people unable to help but glance at him a few times. But no matter what, he was a prince, a disciple of the great national master, and was also a 3rd-rank divine king. Just based on these things, no one dared to look down on him, and these were all manifestations of strength. I've heard about the Fire Shang Divine Monument for a long time, but I never dared to test it. I was worried that I would be too weak and get a blow from it. Xiaoping walked to the side of the divine stele. He was very obedient as he took out his identity jade token and handed it to the old man in charge of inspecting it. After the test, the elder gave the jade token to him. When everyone heard his words, they were all speechless. If even he didn't dare to test his strength, then who would dare to come? He was the disciple of the great national master, so his flames were definitely not weak. Everyone was looking forward to it. He didn't like to participate in complicated and bloody battles and wholeheartedly pursued the highest realm of alchemy, which was why he had come to participate in this competition. Thus, he didn't represent any major power and was only here to join in on the fun. There were rumors that after finding out that he was not participating in the struggle for the throne, the first-tier divine kings had all offered generous conditions to rope him in, but they were all rejected one by one. There were even those that said he had been looking for divine medicines for many years, but he rejected them all. Chen Shang heard the soft discussion of many people, and couldn't help but admire Xiaoping, who was indeed a person worthy of respect. When he grew up in an environment like the Imperial Nine Palace, it was truly difficult for him to maintain his personality. Xiaoping extended both of his hands into the two holes beneath the Fire Shang divine stele and frowned slightly. A red light immediately surged out from the bottom of the neat engravings on the stone tablet. In the blink of an eye, the red light surpassed the 10th inscription. It went directly up to 30. After 30, its rising speed gradually slowed down. However, it still continued to continuously rise until it stopped at 45. I did my best. Xiaoping looked at the place where the red light stopped. The heavenly divine lord back then was really scary, being able to go straight to over 100. Even if I had the 100 gods level, I might not be able to instantly go over 100. Xiaoping had 45 years of experience, which was already pretty good. Many alchemists couldn't even pass this level, and before Xiaoping came, the highest he could reach was 15 years old. It's your turn, go and try. Xiao Baifeng pushed Chen Shang away as he took a few steps forward. Isn't this the little man raised by Xiao Baifeng? It is said that they are also participating in the competition. Where did Xiao Baifeng get this half-alchemist from? Quote. He must be here to try his luck. Yeah, if this alchemist is not bad, then Xiao Baifeng can be considered to have pretty good luck, at least he won't be just a maid in the future. She was already used to it, but Chen Shang was actually furious in his heart when he heard her speak of this. He believed that it must be the Ming prince's rumors and slanders. These bastards, they actually look down on us like that. Chen Shang looked at the people around him coldly. Xiaoping also felt that it was boring when he heard the crowd's discussions. Of course he knew Xiao Baifeng, since she was Xiao Yulan's female servant, he had seen her several times, although she had 30 divine deity, but because she was a female servant, she was always looked down on. Of course, Xiaoping would not look down on Xiao Baifeng, he felt that Xiao Baifeng's strength was greater than most of the people here. Young master. When the old man behind Xiaoping saw Chen Zhang's appearance, he shouted in surprise. Xiaoping also felt that Chen Shang looked familiar, so Chen Zhang's appearance immediately surfaced in his mind. But Chen Shang right now had changed his appearance a little, and was somewhat similar to before, which was why Xiaoping and the old man felt that he looked familiar. Xiaoping looked at the old man behind him, telling him not to talk anymore. Originally, he had planned to go and refine pills immediately, but he realized that Chen Shang looked familiar, and wanted to see Chen Zhang's reaction. Xiao Baifeng was a little surprised. She could tell that Xiaoping was more concerned about Chen Shang and was about to leave, but he suddenly stopped and looked at Chen Shang. Shen Fei. After the old man checked the jade tablet, he returned it to Chen Shang. Hearing the name, Xiaoping couldn't help but smile. He had already confirmed that this was Chen Shang, and as Xiaoping's follower for many years, he naturally understood why Xiaoping was laughing. Last time, Xiaoping was only sparring with Chen Shang, but this time, they could truly compete. Because he was the little man raised by Xiao Baifeng, he was also the center of attention. Chen Shang, on the other hand, was rather calm as he burrowed both his hands deep into the two holes, sucked in a small breath, and then used the powerful 6 realms power in his body to attack the 4 flame divine deities. The 4 flame powers that had undergone the transformation of the 4 divine deity fiercely collided with each other, and like 4 great rivers converging together, created an even stronger impact. After that, they went through the double bone level on his left arm, and after an even stronger transformation, they congealed into flames. After he released the flame, a red light instantly appeared at the bottom of the divine steel inscription pattern array. The red light instantly broke through 20 and then slowly came to a stop at 25 meters, causing the crowd to cry out in alarm. Must be over 30. Chen Shang increased the intensity of the flames, causing the red light to continue rising. In a few blinks of an eye, it had passed 30, but the red light did not stop, it continued to rise. 36. Chen Shang's forehead dripped with sweat, then he retracted his hand. No one could believe that someone who emitted the aura of 6 divine deity could actually cause flames to soar to such a height. Did the fire Shang divine steel break? When Prince Ping used his strength just now, it must be because there are still flame power remaining in the Prince Ping, which is why he is acting like this. Quote. Right, this guy doesn't even look like a god. Just a flame of this degree is impossible. Wait until the flame power of the divine steel disappears, then he can be reborn. Xiao Ping said. If you don't think so, you can try. Is it because of the remnants of the flame power? There was really someone who went up to try, but no matter how hard they tried, they could not get past 8. Following that, a few more people came up, all of them from 4 to 5. What this fire Shang divine steel is testing is not the strength of the divine power, but the flames. Do you understand the intensity of the flames? The intensity of these flames cannot be said to be because the more divine deity there is, the stronger the flames are. Back then, when my master went to take the test when he was at the 60th session of divine deity, he was able to reach that level, and there aren't even as many at the 10th divine deity as him. Xiao Ping said indifferently, if this fire Shang divine monument only relies on the quantity of divine deity to test the strength of the flames, then he wouldn't even be placed here. The fire Shang divine steel tests your control over the laws of fire. Although there is a certain relationship between this and the divine deity, it is not a necessary one. Quote. Hearing Xiao Ping's words, everyone stopped talking. Xiao Ping was obviously speaking up for Chen Shang, and caused those people who had mocked Chen Shang to lower their heads in shame. Because they already knew that they were unknowledgeable. Xiao Ping looked at Chen Shang and laughed faintly, I hope that you can reach the end. I really look forward to battling with you for a bit. I look forward to it too. Chen Shang also had this strong thought, as if he had met a rare opponent. Chapter 2137. Xiao Baifeng was very satisfied with Chen Zhang's performance. This was the only way Chen Shang would be able to obtain more of Xiao Yulan's recognition, and at that time, he would be able to grow even faster. Seeing Xiao Baifeng picking up such a good alchemist, many people were secretly jealous that if they could develop an outstanding alchemist, then with the help of this alchemist, they would definitely have a very high status and strong strength. The pretty girl who mocked Xiao Baifeng previously was also present. Thinking about how Chen Shang wanted to slap her earlier, she became even more furious. Now that she knew that this little man had such potential, she became even more jealous of Xiao Baifeng. The next step was the second stage of the test, to assess the pill refining level. It was just refining the Zongpin Dan, but the requirements were very harsh. It needed to produce a certain number of pills, and the quality also needed to be good, and had to be within the time limit, otherwise it would be impossible to pass. Beside this area was a group of alchemists that were seriously controlling the pill furnaces and refining Zongpin Dan. Chen Shang had also just seen a moment ago, Zongpin Dan's ingredients were all provided and they were all used to refine 5 elements Dan's. Now, Chen Shang understood why Xiao Baifeng gifted the 5 elements Dan to him so generously. This 5 elements Dan and the Tianwo Dan were also common goods, he could casually obtain them, but he would need a certain number of Shen Yuan stone to buy them. Xiao Baifeng was very much at ease with this stage. She herself had personally witnessed Chen Shang refining 5 elements Dan. Not only was it fast, the amount of 5 elements Dan that came out was also extremely shocking. Xiao Ping had already received his 5 elements Dan in a pill furnace. In order to ensure fairness in pill refining, he used a single pill furnace. Young master, are you still not going to start? At this time, many alchemists had the same question. After Xiao Ping brought the medicinal ingredients and pill furnace into the arena, he sat down with his legs crossed. The medicinal ingredients and pill furnace were beside him, so he did not touch them. I'm waiting for someone. Xiao Ping glanced at Chen Shang. Here, he couldn't wait to have a small match with Chen Shang. Seeing his gaze, everyone could not help but be shocked. Xiao Baifeng's little man was really too polite, he actually made the Prince Ping waste time waiting for him. Because they were both refining 5 elements Dan and also using the same pill furnace, the competition was very fair. Xiaoping knew that he had lost to Chen Shang once, and now he wanted to take it back. Chen Shang felt that this Prince Ping loved to duel too much, it was just that he did not know that this Prince Ping had once lost to him. All of the alchemists present were extremely jealous of Chen Shang at this moment, to actually be valued so highly by Xiaoping, and Chen Shang had also caused them to secretly admire him. If it was them, they would probably be very nervous already, but Chen Shang was actually very relaxed. "Aren't you going over?" Xiao Baifeng looked at the people around him and saw that everyone was watching him. Xiaoping's voice was also very loud just now. Xiao Baifeng also thought that Chen Shang was too calm. To be able to be so calm in the face of a challenge from someone of Xiaoping's level, he did not seem afraid at all. Chen Shang smiled faintly. "There's no rush, both he and I tested on the Fire Shang Divine Steel earlier and both have a certain amount of energy loss. If we start right now, we're definitely not in our best condition, we both need to undergo a short period of adjustment. Young lad, to refine a Zongpin Dan, you have to do it within the set time. The Prince Ping thinks highly of you, so don't waste his time." That old follower was very considerate of his young master and hastily came over to greet him. "Aren't we supposed to complete it within 6 hours? With your Prince Ping's strength, I estimate that it would be completed in 2 hours, and perhaps even faster." Chen Shang laughed. "So elder, don't be anxious. It took only 2 hours to produce 2 or more high-quality 5 elements Dan. Right now, they were risking their lives, but their speed was still the same. They couldn't understand, why was it that they were both concocting pills, their refining speed was so slow, but the others were all so fast, their methods were all the same." Xiaoping only wore a smile on his face. He agreed very much with Chen Zhang's words, and he could also tell that Chen Shang attached a lot of importance to the following match with him, which was why he had to make the best adjustment. And this time, Xiaoping also decided to display his full strength. He had to defeat Chen Shang. Therefore, he needed to adjust himself as well. He had indeed used up quite a bit of energy on the Fire Shang Divine Steel just now. Xiaoping was not anxious, so was Chen Shang, but everyone was anxious to death. They wanted to throw Chen Shang onto the stage and compete quickly. 4 hours later, Chen Shang finally went to collect the ingredients needed to refine 5 elements Dan, as well as the uniform pill furnace. After knowing that Xiaoping had met an opponent and was planning to hold a small competition here, everyone from the other regions rushed over. The reason why Chen Shang had raised his profile a little, was because he was following Xiao Baifeng's instructions. Only by doing this could he win over Xiao Yulan. And after this preliminary competition, there would definitely be a period of time until the official competition begins. If he could get Xiao Yulan's attention here, then he would definitely receive many benefits. Xiaoping was very knowledgeable about Chen Shang, so he would never underestimate Chen Shang. Instead, he viewed Chen Shang as a target that he had to defeat, which was something only he and his old follower knew. Chen Shang was standing right in front of Xiaoping. Because the moment Xiaoping arrived, no one dared to refine pills beside him. However, Chen Shang was not afraid. After he sat down, Xiaoping said, "I'm worried that you won't go all out." "Why are you so worried?" Chen Shang smiled and asked. The crowd burst into an uproar again. After sparring with the Prince Ping to refine pills, they did not even need to use all their strength, when suddenly they felt that the little man that Xiao Baifeng was raising was not small at all. Because whether you win or lose this match, you will not lose anything. Furthermore, there is no motivation for you to go all out. Xiaoping said. That makes sense. Chen Shang nodded his head. In that case, something is indeed missing. Xiaoping Glang laughed and took out a jade token. This is the Heaven God Fire Dan's pill formula. Heaven God Fire Dan. After everyone heard this, they almost couldn't believe that this was real. Xiaoping actually dared to take out such a precious pill recipe to gamble with. Even if it wasn't a pill formula, just a Heaven God Fire Dan was already extremely precious. Young Master, this Heaven God Fire Dan is Great National Master's most prized pill formula. The old follower was interrupted by Xiaoping. You think I will lose? Xiaoping smiled faintly. Chapter 2138. Chen Shang had also heard of Heaven God Fire Dan before. This was recorded in the knowledge of pellets Feng Yuji had passed down to him. As long as he ate the Heaven God Fire Dan S that corresponded to his own strength, he could absorb the divine power of the heavens and earth and condense a very strong flame divine deity. It was just that he needed to consume a lot of it to continuously absorb it and quickly condense divine deity. This kind of pill was indeed very precious. This is the supreme god pellet, but you can also use Shangpin medicine to refine Shangpin Dan. Xiaoping laughed, now you have the motivation to compete with me. Xiaoping was only worried that Chen Shang wouldn't use all of his strength to compete with him, which was why he did this. In the eyes of many people, this was an incomprehensible action. But you also need to come up with something to bet with me. Xiaoping said. I can't take it out, I'm very poor. Elder sister Bai Feng has been helping me all this time, and she provided me with the pill furnaces. Chen Shang spread his hands. Of course Chen Shang had good things, it was just that he could not gamble on them, he was not as wasteful as Xiaoping. 1,000,000,000 Shenyuan stone, how about it? Xiaoping looked at Xiao Baifeng. She should be able to afford these Shenyuan stone. Shen Fei, make a bet with Prince Ping. I'll pay for this 1,000,000,000 Shenyuan stone. Xiao Baifeng agreed without hesitation. It could be seen that she was extremely confident in Chen Shang, and she also knew the value of Heaven God Fire Dan. Chen Shang laughed. Don't worry Prince Ping, I will definitely show my true strength. But don't get angry from embarrassment when you lose. Quote. Do I look like someone who would want to do such a thing? He had already picked up the invisible divine fruit and began to examine it. How about this, since it's the same pill furnace and the same divine medicine, let's exchange for it so that everyone can be at ease. Xiaoping said. After all, he had taken out his trump card and gambled with it, so he had to be very careful in this matter. No problem. Chen Shang and Xiaoping changed their positions, the pill furnace and the divine medicine were placed on the ground. Now, more and more people started to gather, the Heaven God Fire Dan's reputation was too big, and the fire elementalists were the most famous, and now there was actually someone who used this pill formula to make a bet. Many people did not believe it, but after knowing that Xiaoping had taken it out to make a bet, everyone had no choice but to believe it. The Heaven God Fire Dan was the top-quality divine formula created by the great national master, and Xiaoping, as the only disciple of the great national master, would definitely have this recipe as well, so only he would dare to take it out to gamble. The quality, speed, and quantity will be determined by these three criteria. When the time comes, both you and I will have a plan. Xiaoping said. Chen Shang nodded, let's begin. It was finally about to begin. Xiaoping's face also became serious. Although giving away the Heaven God Fire Dan's pill formula wouldn't do him much of a loss, he would definitely be scolded by his master, so he had to protect it. Chen Zhang's motivation had two aspects. On one hand, he would lose 1,000,000,000 Shenyuan stone, and this Shenyuan stone was definitely Xiao Baifeng's last resort. On the other hand, if he won, he would be able to obtain this precious pill formula, which was extremely useful to him. Chen Shang directly threw the 5 elements divine fruits into the pill furnace. He did not do it according to the pill formula, Xiaoping only followed the steps of the pill formula, only that he sped up his pace. Before, Chen Shang had said that Xiaoping would definitely be able to complete it within 2 hours, and perhaps even faster. Now, it seemed that he had spoken correctly. If he followed the steps in the pill formulas, Xiaoping would have already progressed to halfway. However, no one knew about Chen Zhang's progress, he did not follow the pill formulas. There were even many people who suspected that he was capable of refining the pills. If it weren't for the powerful alchemist 1,000,000,000 Shenyuan stone would still be considered a large number to the 30 great saint gods with divine deity. The Shenyuan stone that Xiao Baifeng had saved up for so many years, had been defeated mostly because they had only known each other for a few days. She also secretly felt that she had paid a lot to raise Chen Shang. Xiaoping was a prince who had the qualifications to compete for the throne, so his every action would receive the attention of the great powers in the Imperial Nine Palace. More and more people came, and the crowd didn't understand pill forging at all. All they were waiting for was the result, the one who lost and the one who won. Princess, I never thought that the little man from Baifeng's group would be so powerful. The Fire Shang divine tablet had reached a total of 36, but Prince Ping held such high regard for him. In order to compete to his heart's content, Prince Ping actually took out a Heaven God Fire Dan and used it to unleash his greatest strength. In the garden of one of Jade Cauldron Palace's strictest villas, a woman was talking to a lady in a white dress who was playing a zither. Can you find out anything about this Shen Fei? The lady in the white dress who was playing the zither kept the jade zither and asked softly. No, it's as if he suddenly appeared. The people from the other 8 divine nations have never heard of him either. The woman said, I'm also worried that Baifeng will be tricked. She hasn't had any contact with a man for many years, but now, she's allowed a man to sit in the same house with her. Furthermore, she's even given him so much. Don't worry, as long as we're in the Imperial 9 Palace, Beifeng will be fine. Before I figure out the reason for this Shenfei's visit, I can't get him to leave the Imperial 9 Palace no matter what. The lady who was playing the zither just now was Xiao Yulan. She was much smarter than Xiao Beifeng. Although she did not seem to care about the Shenfei that Xiao Beifeng had introduced, she had secretly investigated him many times. Furthermore, in these past few days, Xiao Beifeng's whereabouts were all under her control. If you have any results, feel free to report to me. If Shenfei is truly someone useful, I will personally talk to him. Xiao Yulan said. Yes, Princess. Chen Shang and Xiao Ping's match could be said to be extremely intense. Both of them were desperately fighting for time, using the fastest time possible to refine as many 5 elements Dan as possible. Soon, an hour passed. However, their pill furnaces were extremely calm. It was terrifyingly calm, as if nothing had happened inside. When the alchemist was refining pills, more or less, the pill furnace would emit a bit of hot air. But right now, the two of them did not have a single pill furnace. To them, this pill furnace was just a cover. When they were concocting pills, the flames did not touch the pill furnace at all. Under these circumstances, it was already amazing that they could still perform so well. Now, everyone knew why Xiao Ping valued Chen Shang so much. It was because Chen Zhang's standards were similar to his. However, there was a heaven and earth difference between Chen Zhang's divine deity and Xiao Ping's. After about an hour, Xiao Ping suddenly opened the lid, and Chen Shang opened it at almost the same time as him. Chapter 2139. Chen Zhang's expression was also very solemn. This Xiao Ping's alchemy level was really strong. He could clearly feel that he was unsure if he could win. If it was in the past, he would definitely be very confident. Alright, we finished it at the same time. Now it all depends on the quantity and quality, Xiao Ping said. Chen Shang nodded, and at the same time, retrieved the 5 elements Dan from the furnace with Xiao Ping. Seeing the 5 elements Dan that they took out, everyone was stunned. There were actually 6 of them. Being able to refine 2 or 3 of these 5 elements Dan's was already very impressive, but now that they could refine 6 of them, it was clear from the luster of their pills that they were of high quality. No one dared to look down on Chen Shang anymore, and they no longer dared to tease him that he was raising men. A man who could refine 6 5 elements Dan's in one furnace and take care of 2 Xiao Beifeng's in half an hour. Is it even? The old follower said. No, it depends on the quality. Xiao Ping took out a round plate. In the middle of the plate, there was a small dent, just large enough to fit into a divine pill. In the middle of the plate, there was a square crystal with many complex spirit grains on it. This is a divine tool used to test the quality. My master entrusted it to the heavenly divine lord to refine it. Do you trust this divine tool? Xiao Ping said. Chen Shang nodded his head. Although the heavenly divine lord had been defeated, the many divine tools that he had refined were still circulating around, and they were extremely precious. Alright, the square crystal on the plate will show the numbers. The higher the number, the higher the quality. We will test the 6 supreme Dan beads separately, and the one with the biggest numbers is the winner. Xiao Ping's expression was also extremely serious. He did not want to lose to Chen Shang. Alright, Chen Shang nodded. I'll go first. Xiao Ping placed a 5 elements Dan into the small dent. The crystal suddenly lit up and a number appeared. 90, Xiao Ping said, then let Chen Shang see it clearly. Continue, Chen Shang said. Xiao Ping took out that 5 elements Dan and placed it on the other one, showing that it was also 90. Chen Shang was also very surprised that Xiao Ping could control it so well. It's your turn, Xiao Ping said. When Chen Shang placed the 5 elements Dan that he refined into the first pellet, it displayed a value of 93, which made everyone exclaim in surprise. The quality was actually better than Xiao Ping's. And the next 4 pills were all 90. Now it was the last one. If it was also 90, then Xiao Ping would have lost. At this moment, Xiao Ping was looking at the divine testing tool with rapt attention. His forehead was actually covered in sweat. 86. Chen Shang frowned. He did not dare believe that he had actually lost. Xiao Ping's 6 pills had a total value of 540, and Chen Zhang's was 539, although they had lost a little. I won. Xiao Ping smiled faintly. But winning isn't easy, you are just a little bit away from defeating me, I don't even want that 1 billion Shen Yuan stone, in any case, I've won. Xiaoping didn't care about the 1 billion Shen Yuan stone. Although Chen Shang had lost, it was still a glorious loss because Xiaoping really did not win easily. Furthermore, it was already pretty good that Chen Shang had refined a pill with the quality of 93. This competition could already see Chen Zhang's level. This was also the main reason that it affected the quality of his medicinal pellets. If he had arrived at third-rank divine king like Xiaoping, then it would be hard to say. Take it, give it to Prince Ping. Xiao Baifeng took out a storage bag and handed it over to Xiaoping's old follower. Everyone knew that this was a billion Shen Yuan stone, yet Xiao Baifeng did not accept Xiaoping's kindness. However, for those who had the slightest understanding of Xiao Baifeng, they would know that even though she was a female servant, she had a lot of backbone. According to the rules, the refined divine pellets could not be taken away, and after Chen Shang lost, he was also not in a good mood. Next time, let's compete again. Chen Shang smiled at Xiaoping. I will definitely win against you again. Of course, if you can still beat me, this will still be yours. Xiaoping waved the Heaven God Fire Dance pill formula in his hand. Even though he had won against Chen Shang by a little, he still gave him enough confidence. Chen Shang came to Xiao Baifeng's side, looking at her with an ashamed face. Just win it back next time and you'll be fine. Xiao Baifeng was very satisfied with Chen Zhang's performance, at least she did not feel that it would hurt to lose 1 billion Shen Yuan stone, and when she said these words, she even revealed a faint smile to Chen Shang, that was a smile of encouragement and praise. Chen Shang did lose to Xiaoping, but this also made him famous here. After all, his level was not far from Xiaoping's. Returning back to the house, Xiao Baifeng said, "Did you not bring out your true strength?" Chen Shang nodded, and sighed, "I was too careless, and underestimated this guy. It's all my fault. In order to not cause too much trouble, I didn't use my most powerful technique." Quote. Xiao Baifeng was very clear of Chen Zhang's abilities, it was because the mutated Tianwo Dan that Chen Shang refined was very scary, the high quality was scary. She felt that if Chen Shang refined the 5 elements Dan, it would also definitely be able to reach the quality that it was supposed to have, but she was curious why Chen Shang did not refine it. What she did not know was that Chen Shang was using the heavenly alchemy, so when he came to the divine nations, he definitely could not expose this. And if he wanted to refine a divine pill that had a spirit light, just that broken pill furnace would definitely explode. Yue said, "Elder sister Baifeng, how many Shen Yuan stone do you still have?" "Not much, only 20 million. But for the alchemist S, this is not even enough to fill the gaps between their teeth." Xiao Baifeng sighed. "I wonder if the princess will value you because of today's match with Prince Ping. If she still doesn't, I can only think of other ways to earn Shen Yuan stone to support you." Yue chuckled. "Elder sister Baifeng, you aren't actually raising a little man, you're just raising a little scoundrel." "Yue, how did you get this strange disease?" Chen Shang reached out his hand to scratch her itch, thinking that it must be Long Shui's fault. "Stop messing around. Someone's coming, and she's even a beauty." Yue shouted, giggling non-stop at Chen Zhang's words. Xiao Baifeng knew that someone had arrived and hastily opened the door. It was a lady in red, with a charming smile on her jade-like face. She was tall, taller than Xiao Baifeng by 2 heads. "It's you. Did the princess ask you to come?" Xiao Baifeng said. She did not give the lady any face. "Something like that." The lady in red did not enter, because Xiao Baifeng did not let her in. She could only look at Chen Shang who was inside, and even gave him a sweet and gentle smile. Chapter 2140. Chen Shang saw that the lady in red was blocked by Xiao Baifeng outside the door, and immediately saw that the relationship between Xiao Baifeng and the lady in red was not good, causing him to not understand. Xiao Baifeng had followed Xiao Yulan from a young age, and stayed in Imperial 9 Palace for a long time, but did not have any trusted friends. "Can't you just let me in?" The woman in red didn't get angry. She only stuck out her tongue and smiled. "Did the princess send you here?" Xiao Baifeng was still as cold as ever, and didn't welcome the red-clothed female in the slightest. "Yes, she asked me to come and talk to you about something, and at the same time, wanted me to take a look at this man called Shen Fei." The lady in red giggled. "What, are you afraid that he will be lured away by me?" Quote. Xiao Baifeng snorted, and opened up a path for her to walk in. The red-clothed female walked into the hall and opened her big watery eyes, looking at Chen Shang curiously, as if she had seen something magical. Xiao Honk, if you have something to say, quickly say it. Xiao Baifeng said. He's very tired today and needs to rest early. Xiao Baifeng was currently unhappy, not because she saw Xiao Honk, but because she felt that Xiao Yulan did not attach enough importance to him, and this would miss the chance for Chen Shang to participate in the upcoming competition. Needed resources right now, but she did not, and she could only hope that Xiao Yulan could provide some. Now that she saw Xiao Honk coming, without a trace of sincerity, she understood that Xiao Yulan had asked her to come take a look. If Xiao Yulan truly valued Chen Shang, he would have definitely sent people to find her and talk. Princess asked me to come and ask about Shen Fei's background, because he was too mysterious. Princess would not be at ease if she did not understand him fully. You should know the princess's personality. She has always been this cautious. Don't blame the princess is doing it for your own good, she doesn't want you to be tricked. She understands that you need to nurture your own people, so she's worried that you'll get ahead of yourself. Xiao Honk looked at Chen Shang, and mischievously made a face at him. Chen Shang laughed. Big sister, when you say these words, just sound transmission is enough, there's no need for me to hear it right. I'm just letting you hear me. What do you think? Xiao Honk chuckled. Tell me about it for big sister. I'm a good person. Chen Shang laughed. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Do you have any proof? Even if I believe you, the princess doesn't believe me, and I don't trust you, so there's nothing I can do. If you really want to be chosen by the princess, you'd better honestly tell me your purpose in coming here. Don't think that the princess can't see through your motives in coming here. Xiao Honk came to Chen Zhang's side and said with a charming smile. Xiao Baifeng was a little angry. Honk, quickly leave. Go back and tell the princess that I can handle this kind of matter by myself, there's no need for her to worry about it. Quote. The past few days that she had spent with Chen Shang, she believed that she understood Chen Shang very well. She believed in her intuition that Chen Shang would definitely not harm her. Furthermore, the fact that she was together with Chen Shang gave her a joy that she had never felt before. For some reason, when she was together with Chen Shang, she felt very relaxed and didn't need to be on her guard against Chen Shang. Elder sister Baifeng, I know that you haven't had a breakthrough in all these years and I'm a bit worried. But you can't lose your head because of this, we can all understand you. Xiao Honk frowned, and turned to look at Chen Shang. Chen Shang rubbed his nose and said, Are you saying that Jade Cauldron Divine King suspects me? She was worried that my motive for entering the Imperial Nine Palace was not pure. Quote. Exactly, so you'd better cooperate and say what you're here for. If you truly wish to join the Jade Cauldron Palace, we will be the most helpful to you and allow your progress in the Piltdown to be smooth. You should be clear now that your own strength is not enough. Xiao Honk kept her sweet smile, and said very straightforwardly. I only came here to see Jade Cauldron Divine King, to be her subordinate. What I said was the truth, and it was up to you whether you want to believe it or not. Before I met the elder sister Baifeng, I could not refine Zongpin Dan, and it was only because she gave me the divine medicine that I learned it. So now I have a second goal, which is to grow as fast as possible and help the elder sister Baifeng become even stronger. Chen Shang sighed. If you still do not believe, then I have no choice, I can only give up my first goal, and achieve my second goal will be enough. Don't you want to see the princess now? Xiao Honk asked. She was very clear about the charm of her princess. There were a lot of experts who came here due to admiration, some of them had never seen Xiao Yulan before, but they worked hard for him. It's fine if she doesn't see me, I'm just a lowly nobody. She doesn't put me in her eyes, and she looks down on me. It's normal for her to not see me, so I feel that it's better to forget about it. To me, it's easier to help the elder sister Baifeng become stronger than to see him. Chen Shang was also angry in his heart, his goal in coming here was to save his wife. The Jade Cauldron Divine King was so tyrannical, he kidnapped Shui Shenxian and the others. If he had the strength, he would have killed the Imperial Nine Palace already. Now, it seems that you are not worthy of my princess in your eyes, right? Aren't you afraid that we'll kick you out? Xiao Honk said coldly, her attitude becoming very bad, because she could hear that Chen Shang was angry, and furthermore, the tone of her voice did not even put Xiao Yulan in her eyes. You want to chase me away? Please go ahead, since I am going to accomplish my second goal, I don't need to stay here. Chen Shang did not give her any face, and had already stood up. Honk, if you're still treating me as your big sister, then hurry up and leave. This is my business. If the princess is going to chase him away, then I will go with him. Xiao Baifeng's voice carried a trace of anger. Xiao Honk glared at Chen Shang fiercely, and then looked at Xiao Baifeng with a tender and affectionate gaze as he let out a faint sigh. All right, I'll leave now. After Xiao Honk left, Chen Shang snorted. This woman is not the type to do big things. Before, I thought that the Jade Cauldron Divine King was very powerful, but now, it seems like it. You're not allowed to talk about the princess. Xiao Baifeng said. Princess doesn't care so much about your background, she must have her own thoughts. Chen Shang laughed coldly. If she really needs talent right now, she shouldn't be putting on such a haughty attitude. You're so concerned about my background, used everything to investigate, and even sent Honk Jr. to go against you, but she's just not willing to come. You're already so concerned about me, you might die if you meet me. Quote. Xiao Baifeng also didn't know what to say to refute Chen Shang. Xiao Yulan did indeed mind Chen Shang a lot, but he just didn't want to come by himself. This was exactly the same as what Chen Shang had said.